This is why we give ourselves a buffer.
Oh, hey, Kempy. Good to see your face.
Yeah, I don't do this very often.
My beard's bigger.
Just going through the list here. All right.
Got to see what Kempy looks like.
It's not prayer.
I guess that's half the fun.
Okay, we're starting to get people in on the live streams now.
Great. Well, if you're joining us from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or the Steam store page, welcome to the World War II Online Convention Day 2. Today is going to be all about the future, and we've got some videos prepared. We will be officially getting started in 25 minutes with those. Again, we'll have a briefing, and then we're going to go into some really juicy news. We're just right out the gate. So if you are connected with other people who are fans of the game, we had over 300 people register and sign up, and that number was growing astronomically over the last couple of days. Presently, we have 111 people in the actual Zoom webinar. So help us by getting more people who are fans of the game aware of what it is we're doing here today. Reach out to them. You can share the link directly either on like Discord or on Facebook. You can even just hit the share button, but send them a text message, make a phone call, get more people here because you don't want to miss this. We've been saying that the whole time, and based on what you're about to see, we know that that's going to be the case. So, Tom, I just gave you the ability to speak. Is that you, T-Man? I can't hear anything.
Should be Pie Man.
Okay. What's your call sign?
Pie Man.
Pie. Oh, hi. Hi. I need more coffee. How are you?
Hanging in there, folks. Hanging in there.
Cool. Well, welcome. I was for some reason here on Zoom meeting, and the reason probably is everyone signed up with their actual name as compared to their game name. We're having to sort of sift through who's a rat, who's not. So that's why we're asking. We'll leave your mic open. You seem like a nice fellow. We'll do that.
I always am in the beginning.
Okay. Well, once we get started, we're muting that. That's what I learned.
All righty.
Just kidding. Let's see. Okay, there's Kira. There's Kevin. Okay. All right. We're working this out, guys. So Brutus. Okay. Promote. There's Brian. B2K, is that you? I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely you. Okay, here we go. And then that's Mandrill. Mandrill, you got your mic working?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, I just.
Oops. I promoted him and it booted him for a sec. Derek, is that you, Scotsman?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, man. Okay. We're going to promote you to a panelist. Obviously, that's Westy. Get this side out. Sorry for my mumbling here. Chris, that's Text 64. Allowed to talk. There you go. Text, you got the ability to talk. We're going to promote you to panelist. Johan, that's Boom Boom. That's the guy working hard on all these vehicles.
Hey, guys.
Hey, we're going to promote you to panelist. Here you go. Side out. You should be able to talk now. Can you confirm that's you?
That is me.
Cool. Good to see you. Here we go.
664 is here.
All right. We're making progress, guys.
Welcome, Tex.
All right. T-Gunner, you should have the ability to talk now.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Gas pipe, you should have the ability to speak as well. I'm just kind of randomly going through the list here. Let's see. Joe, that's Jay Rona. You should have the ability to speak now as well.
Yeah, all good.
Hey man, welcome. Vocal, that's a character artist. You should be able to speak now too and promote you to panelist.
Promotion.
Dun dun dun.
Yep, I'm good.
All right, great. Tom, that's T-Man. Not Pie Man, T-Man. T-Man, can you confirm that's you? With your microphone? I can't hear you. Technical difficulties. And there's Friedhelm. Friedhelm, that should be Van Oppo. You should have your microphone good now. Van Oppo, you want to say hi? Is that you? Okay, great. Did you have a little video here? Oh, is that actually going in the background? Okay, sorry. Al Watson, that's TR6 Al. You should be able to talk now. Al, is that you?
It is.
Cool, man. I'm gonna promote you to panelist. One sec. Okay, Trevor 8, you should be able to talk now.
They
And
also are UVA and UVB.
oh, that sounds like some serious business going on over there. Okay, Rodney, we're hooking you up. Cue your microphone and just verify that's you.
I'm here.
Cool, good to see you. We're gonna promote you now. Base 21, you can talk now. Bud Smith, you can talk now. DM 79, you can talk now. Eddie 05.
That's great, but I prefer to be silent because I only speak a lot of crap. So have at you guys. I'll be listening to the webinar.
Okay. Thanks for the disclaimer. We'll keep that in mind when you ask questions later.
Love that truth.
Pass. Here's Simcha. He's our resident goat guy. So say hello, Simcha. Coyote, you should be able to talk now.
Howdy, Simca, Warhammer here.
Hey,
Simca,
can you hear me?
sorry.
Hear you now.
Okay, great. Thanks. Hi, guys. How you doing today?
Hey, Simcha.
Doing good, Simca.
Good to be here.
Wait,
Okay,
Simcha has a voice?
There's an inside joke there. What's the Simca part about?
Oh, Simca is a Hebrew name. It was my favorite dog who passed away a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I just took that name as a moniker. Nothing to do with goats, I'm afraid.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. I just like goats. They're ornery.
Matthew Hogan, that's James, right? You want to verify that's you?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Every time I hear Matthew, that's my name too. So I get worried that one of my parents is like, what? Did I do something wrong? All right, let's promote you to panelist. There you go. All right, here's a spare or spa. You can talk now. The mouse, you should have microphone access now. Sasa, you should be able to talk now.
Hi there.
Yeah. Mosquito,
Yes.
you should be able to talk now as well.
Hi, Zoom. This is
Do it.
Sputter.
Yeah, Spark. Yep, we're activating multiple microphones
Thank you.
until it gets too overbearing, and then we'll start deactivating some. Delems, I'm gonna activate your microphone, but we've gotten all your reports and bugs, so go easy on us. Here we go.
Oh, jeez.
I had to, man. I had
Oh
to.
my God.
That was funny.
we love you. All right.
How you doing down there, Kempy?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing
I'm shocked
fantastic.
Simcha's got a voice. I don't think I've heard Simcha in 15 years.
Oh, I'm sure you've read a lot of what I've said.
Yeah,
Because I talk a lot of shit.
No, you don't. Just
I'm directing a movie soon.
you are.
Yeah, it's gonna be
You'll be in it.
Alice in Wonderland. No, W is not gonna. He would be like the worm, I think.
Hey, Zoom. John Cassidy equals Hans the Wolf.
Hey. Yep. Hans the Wolf.
Jeez, I should have set up a camera.
Should I be updating his name? Is that what you're requesting?
I think that he's requesting. I would really love to know who Worst Spy is. That's fantastic.
Can I update mine Zoom to Warhammer?
I should be able to help you. In fact, some of my panelists here should have administrative abilities, the co-host. So if you guys can help with the names, I would appreciate that. I am multitasking like a mofo, and
You go under options, first of all.
thank you.
You can find it. I can't even find it now. Oh, it's in the middle of the screen. It's a very small gray window. Oh no, that's just fit. Never mind.
T-Man and Kempy, Boom Boom, you guys have co-host capabilities now. So if you want to help out, that would be good. Get that to B2K as well. And Brutus. And Tex. All right, that should be plenty. All right. I know this part is kind of a weird lull, but just hang in there. You guys who are have your microphones activated, feel free to speak freely as long as it's not too overbearing. You know, try to be respectful, but there are a lot of people watching and listening. So yeah, we're still celebrating 20 years. Today is actually 20 years of World War II Online.
Hey, this is PF Mosquito. You hear me?
We
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah, we got you.
Well, I was gonna talk and say something, but then you said it couldn't be overbearing, so I think maybe
Well, you're the only one talking, so the floor is yours. What do you got?
I got nothing. How about I'm almost a day one player, day 30, whatever, pretty close.
Awesome.
It's the only game I play, and just take a second to express the gratitude to use Zoom to continue it, but also I like the tribute to the people who started it in the first place. I didn't really a lot of those guys were probably yesterday. That would have been the better time maybe, but you know, it's been the background of my life for 2 decades, and greatly appreciated. Thank you
That's
very
awesome,
much.
man. That's awesome. Yep, it's a team effort, and you're part of that team, so it's everybody. You know, the collective is responsible for all this, so it's
To
great.
the moon. Oh, wait.
Hey, no Doge pimping in here, man. What are you doing?
It was passed around in the CRS channels, the text channels, but somebody had posted, happy birthday, CRS. 20 years ago today, the servers crashed.
Wow.
I think that was in Discord or something. Somebody posted that up. I thought that was the funniest thing.
It's funny, but
I'm just saying.
it still stings.
Hey, every successful MMO's had that issue. World of Warcraft had it. Star Wars Galaxies had it. They all had it.
Hey, Zoom.
Yep.
Is there a way to go back and actually find out the day you started? I started.
There used to be. Who's wanting to know what's your call sign?
Warhammer.
Okay, hold on.
It should be on. Should be on.
Because it started out Warhammer, and then I quit when we went to Brigades and came back as War 49, and then changed that back to Warhammer.
It's just going to make you feel old.
So it's just Warhammer, just straight up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Database.
Well, if you okay, well, this account particularly says it. I don't think it's right. It says it joined January 22nd of 2008.
No, that's not right.
Yeah. So, I do know B2K. Isn't it like in your forum profile? You can see the day you joined as well.
Yeah, it may be in there.
I think.
Oh,
it
is it? Okay.
I don't know if it. I'm not sure if it updates if you ever change your name. I think it stays with whatever day you establish the account.
I think there's
And no, it's not Warhammer.
there's a field in there somewhere.
Old hammer.
The account was created. I can't remember the field name, but it's in there.
A lot of familiar names on there.
Oh yeah.
Every one of them has blown my ass away.
Yeah, you can say that.
You just have to be a cockroach and keep coming back. I don't care who kills me. I just want them to know that I'm coming back.
Hell, Simca, I was always out looking for goats, and that's when you killed me in the back. I mean, geez.
Oh, when I played Axis for my brief time.
Yes, yes.
You know, when I was putting this video together for the builders, I could not believe how many builders we have. I was like, really? That's a lot. I mean, it's a good amount of it's a good list.
By a show of typing in chat, how many of you were here yesterday? I'd be very curious to see that. And yeah, let's see. Bam, 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 bam. Look at that flood. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, Warhammer. It looks like the forums have that same 2008 date.
Okay. Does it show War 49?
See, now you're asking too many questions.
Yes, that was his username. Yeah.
Let's see. Let me try War 49 then. Let's see. No, it's not. Doesn't show War 49.
Okay. Yeah, because it started out Warhammer and then War 49, then back to Warhammer. So I got a feeling it's just showing the last Warhammer. Hello, Mr. Barry. Yes, I'm a new guy.
So I missed most of yesterday's convention. If there's anyone who have any particular question for me, I can take that now.
Maybe the top 3 announcements that you made. I missed it.
maybe explain, Boom Boom. Some of these guys may not be familiar with what you're doing. Maybe start there.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. I create models, tanks, vehicles, aircraft, all of that stuff. Nothing to do with infantry or flight modeling as such, but everything pertaining to vehicles, I can answer questions if you have any.
And good job too, Boom Boom.
Thanks.
I don't know if it needs to be restated, but the work that these guys do is phenomenal, considering the fact that there's no compensation involved. And we're so fortunate as a community for have these guys to come on and participate in some of the very lively discussions, because I know we speak from a place of endearment about the game with an excessive amount of passion at times. So kudos to these guys.
Is it possible that I get a brief on what happened yesterday? That
I think there's a recording up.
Yeah. Yesterday's seminar is on YouTube, and it's also on Facebook.
As far as vehicle questions, all the good stuff, boom, 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 boom. He is just amazing, especially from growing into what he's. Who knew? That's all I got to say is who knew that tinkering around would turn into his the capabilities he's displayed in that. So thank you, Boom Boom. God bless you. And if there's anything negative, it's on me. Like taking too long, tipping over on its face, I'll take that one. So, and we'll just that set the floor there. Expectations.
Yeah, well, we're a crew. It's basically Scotsman, myself, and Hatch who does the vehicles, and most of the all of the base artwork is provided by Scotsman. He has a huge library, and we have lots of stuff waiting to get modeled, and always a lot of stuff in the pipeline. Hopefully, whenever Hatch, can focus more on some vehicles, we'll be adding even more. And well, as I said, it's a team effort. And let's see, B-17. Yeah, well, that's a long way coming. I think you're familiar with the general wish list of stuff like the Panther and some improvements of existing vehicles. We have lots of aircraft, of course, and not least a heck of a lot of Italian gear that we'd like to add. But we're still working from the premise of filling out the early war before progressing too far into the late war gear. So some other question here. Motorcycles, well, they're in the library.
I
haven't started those yet.
On Facebook, somebody said flamethrowers, but that's infantry. That doesn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah, there's a good question. What's the model that you made your most proud of, Boom Boom? And what was the most difficult? Well, I think I know what the difficult one is.
Yeah, the JU-88, by far the most difficult. Well, every model is special. I pretty much like the latest stuff that I did, the Panzer 1. Some of the stuff that is coming and using screenshots of the M3 half track and the Bren carrier. Those are pretty nice. I also like the Panzer 3L and Panzer 3N. Pretty pleased with that artwork, as well as some aircraft skins. But I gotta say, I'm still kind of a klutz in terms of 2D art. I'm not that accomplished yet, but give me a year or two, probably provide get better.
I think I mean, I think you're amazing as far as, I mean, I look at the when you came out with the Kitty Hawk.
That was my favorite. I was waiting to say that.
Oh man,
that one blew me away. The panel and everything was, and plus just seeing the jaws on the nose there, that was badass.
Yes.
It's not just about for Boom Boom and World War II Online artwork in general. The vehicle production pipeline is so much more than being an artist. You know, it's like being a mechanic. There's so many engineering components to it that if you've got that part figured out, the rest of it's downhill, in my opinion. And you know, from where you started, which was like, hey, I have an interest, to all of a sudden now, between you and Hatch, and you know, with Scotsman contributing as well, the vehicle production pipeline has grown astronomically through that, you know, that trio of working together. So don't beat yourself up too hard, man.
No,
for sure.
Pat on the back or two.
Thanks. Well, I saw a question from Whitman about research, and that is we have a multitude of sources. Hatch and Scotsman have access to excellent sources, which gives us everything from armor specifications, engine specs, and all that. I use open sources a lot in terms of gauges, layouts of cockpits and stuff. So most of the stuff is created original. So if you take a look at the Sturm Haubitz 42, I think it's called, that looks pretty good inside. We're hoping to, or I'm hoping to, improve a lot of the old models in terms of user experience. Because some of them are pretty barren, and I like to populate the interior so you have more of a feeling, you know. In step with, you know, pushing new content ahead as well. So it's, you know, two kinds of tasks there: creating new content and improving on the old one.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, it is officially 10 o'clock, people. So good feedback there. If we could, Jim, do you have anything? Okay, thanks. Just want to know. So look, we're going to do a quick introduction. This is going to be a briefing for expectations today and how things are going to roll. So now's the time, if you're watching, to pay attention. If you're here, if not, if there's people who are out and about, get a hold of them if you know they want to be here. They've got about 5 minutes before we start our first video, which is going to be pretty extensive. There's going to be a lot of footage. Today, again, as compared to yesterday, is all about our future, where we're going, what are we doing? We know that a lot of you have been asking questions about what the future of World War II Online is, and today is the definitive, all cards on the table. This is what we're going to do. Obviously, it's amazing that we're here celebrating our 20th anniversary. Nobody would have thought we made it this far. A lot of people over the years have said we would have been dead already, and with the combined effort of CRS 1 and now 2, and the whole time the community, we've been able to stifle those odds quite well. So congratulations, embrace this moment, be absolutely proud of that achievement, because we're one of only a few people, or communities, games for that matter, to be able to achieve that. So, but with that being said, we need to start looking at what the next 20 years are going to look like. How do we make it that far? And that comes with innovation. So the format of today, as you can tell, we're here in this webinar. We will allow more folks to speak later. If you do have speaking power, we're going to start withdrawing them. So my co-hosts, if you can, click the attendees panel. And if they're not a rat, which most of those people with the ability to speak should not be, they're located at the top, start withdrawing that if you can. So click more and remove permission to talk. So rats, please start doing that now. The reason we're doing that is not because we don't want to hear from you. We just want to let you know that this is being recorded. A lot of people are watching, and the information is in a video format. So we want to not have any interruptions or random phone calls or mom bathroom or whatever is going on, you know. So and we respect and realize you guys are at home, and we're really glad you're with us here today. I really was hoping that the conditions of COVID would have allowed us to meet in person for such a significant event. And I look forward to postponing that and doing it maybe next year or something. Because, you know, when we celebrate 20 years, it really, there's so much more depth that we can have in person, that one-on-one time and just hang out. If you've never been to a World War II online convention, it's a lot of fun. So I hope we can make the most of it today as we did yesterday. We got a lot of good feedback. That was all about reflection. And again, today's about the future. So very quickly, we're going to start our first video. It's going to be talking very much about a lot of subjects. I'm not going to spoil anything for you. So sit back. If you don't already have something to drink, go do that. Get something really fast. And again, if you have to get up and leave or whatever, we hope you don't, but it's all going to be recorded. It will be available on YouTube and Facebook, and we'll do an after action because you're going to have a lot of questions. After the first video, we'll take some questions. There's going to be probably thousands. We won't be able to answer them all. Then we'll take a little break, and then we have some super extra top secret announcements we're going to make, which are pretty interesting. And then we have slated about an hour and a half period of time where we're just going to be exclusively focusing on questions. So if for some reason you don't get your questions answered between video 1 and video 2, don't fret. We will get to them as best as we can. And we expect more discussion to take place beyond this. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you. I know my rats are too. We've been holding on to this for so long, and I can't believe I'm about to share this with you. So I'm going to kill my my talking. I'm going to switch over to the video mode. And rats, are you excited? We finally get to talk about stuff.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
Amen, brother.
My God, finally. Okay, so I'm gonna kill my cam here and get this going. One sec. Okay, you should see. Can you guys see the video? I know I haven't hit play yet, but
yeah, we got it.
Yep. Okay. So again, you can see it's 25 minutes. I'd ask you to please be quiet unless for some reason the recording isn't working properly. Community, are you ready? Let me see in that chat. Say something. Are you ready? Hurry up, hurry up. Okay. Okay. And if it's a little loud, just check your microphone. I'm going to have it up to about 80% just so you guys can all hear it. The future of World War II Online is about to be announced. Here we go, guys. This is it. Hello, everyone. I'm Matt Callahan, or as you probably know me best by my in-game call sign, Zoom. Today's announcements are pre-recorded to offer you the most curated information possible so that it is easily consumed and shared, as it is quite significant. I'd like to share a few words before diving into the presentation, so please bear with me for a few moments. Today officially marks 20 years of World War II Online. Congratulations, everyone. And as we celebrate this monumental achievement together, I'd like to take a moment to pay homage to those who paved the way to make this possible. It all started back in 1999, where the original Rats went to start a new company and met at a gazebo in Grapevine, Texas. Boldly marching together, they were able to bring the game alive against all odds, making history in the process. So thank you for your extraordinary contributions and not listening to the guys who said it was impossible to make a game that many of us dreamed about come to life. I'd also like to recognize and sincerely thank the thousands of fans who over the years have been a truly loyal community. If it wasn't for you, we would not be here today. You are the real heroes for continuing to believe in the game, our team, and each other. I must also recognize the folks at CRS 2.0 who have, since 2012, have not only saved the game and company from what was a catastrophic blow, but once again, in good CRS tradition, fought against all odds to stabilize and regain the ability to innovate by adding hundreds of new features and fixes to the game. A job well done to all Rats for making these things possible.
All of this goes to show that when the rats and the community are joined in a common cause and stick to it, we are unbeatable. It's not always easy. Sometimes visible progress is slow, or routine gameplay frustrations arise. But this is a moment much bigger than routine. This is 20 years of memories, friendships, and our online community, which really is more like a family. So while I salute everyone for the job well done to date, I would also like to encourage you all to carry on the mission. Because as we start to dive into today's announcements, you will realize that our next 20 years of World War II Online is in our hands, and the decisions we make matter. Not just at CRS, but your decision to carry on when the going gets tough. This is the core test of our perpetuity, and it's something we always own together. I am confident that today's announcements will be some of the most significant you have seen in a long time, and it will showcase the possibilities of what can and what will be if we do this as one. Without further ado, let's get to the announcements. Today we will be covering 4 primary topics, ranging from integrated voice communications coming to World War II Online, our transition from early access to full release on Steam. We'll be talking about subscriptions and pricing, and we'll be talking about our intentions to move technology forward. We are approaching initial test phases of integrated voice communications after years of discussing bringing voice communications into World War II Online. IVC, short for Integrated Voice Communications, represents a total voice comm solution within World War II Online, so users can communicate directly with each other in an all-inclusive manner, not relying on any third-party program. Players will be able to communicate in 2 primary ways. The first being proximity chat, utilizing 3D positional audio. Players within the game will be able to talk to each other within about 20 meters of any friendly unit, regardless of their vehicle or infantry type. Mission radio is the second type. This enables end users to talk to anyone on their current mission channel, regardless of range. This was done to keep things simple and allow for pilots, for example, to talk with one another, or sailors who are far apart to speak to each other. And of course, this includes the Army branch in any vehicle type. As long as you are on the same mission, you can talk to anyone else on that mission as well. Here's a current work in progress photo of us adding integrated voice communications to the heads-up display. Notice the window on the left. As users speak near you, their name will show up in that box, and when they're done speaking, it will leave that box. That's an indicator to show you who in the area is speaking, or if in fact you're in an airplane and somebody's speaking to you through their mission radio, it will show up in that box as well. But when you're standing next to somebody, focus on the person in the center of the screen, their name above their head, and far to the right you will see a microphone indicator. As somebody is speaking next to you, you'll be able to quickly ascertain who that person is. Integrated voice communications is a huge breakthrough for World War II Online because voice communications is the #1 way to enjoy the game the most. But it is also a massive retention tool for new users joining the game. Without it, most of them are lost. Most first-person shooter gamers have an expectation that this is just there and part of their experience. We fully believe that veterans and new players alike will experience greater connectivity to one another as well, and gameplay experiences, by comparison, will be dramatically improved. Discord is not going away. It will also continue to be there for any custom squad needs and act as a hub of communication, much like it does today. This is still a great tool for us to keep people connected to one another and serves many purposes beyond just voice comms. During early access, we have learned a lot. Introduced DLCs for the first time ever, fixed a lot of bugs, and added new features. Got our website and training materials in order, and we've been working to get our subscription offerings right as well. All in all, this has been a very productive and valuable time. And upon the completion of integrated voice communications, World War II Online will be prepared to do a full release on Steam, taking us out of the early access phase, which we have been in for a while. Once we transition into full release, we anticipate another large wave or infusion of players joining the game. We can't be sure for certain what that will look like, but we are entirely more prepared and polished compared to our initial early access release. We are hoping to go to a full release before the end of this year, but it may lead into the early part of next year if required. There really is no rush or pressure. We just want to give our developers the right time and make this move. Squads should be preparing accordingly for an increase of players to the game. We provided some unique subscriptions to provide more accessible price points while maintaining value for users interested in a specific subset of vehicle classes. However, after some serious consideration and reviewing the results, we think we can do a better job. Here are the plans that will be discontinued, meaning no longer available by July 1st, 2021. The starter subscription, all infantry subscription, all air forces subscription, and all ground forces subscription. All of these plans, just mentioned, will then be converted into a $9.99 per month premium subscription plan. Our public offerings will then look like this: a 30-day free trial when signing up to the game, a perpetual free play model like we have now, a $9.99 per month premium subscription plan, and we will continue to have our Hero Builder plans, with one special note to make. All users who are currently paying $17.99 per month will be transitioned to a one-time Hero Builder plan. You'll receive all features and capabilities of the Hero plan without having to pay additional, and in fact, by comparison to the regular rate, you'll be spending $12 less per month. By doing this, we will continue to honor the agreed upon rate while unlocking quite a bit more access and recognition in and out of the game. It also includes the new infantry units, only accessible by builders. This is a key component to making the rest of this subscription consolidation plan possible. So by now you might be wondering, why are we doing this? We're operating a massively multiplayer game, and to encourage growth we need to make the game more accessible to more people, especially in times like these. We also aim to simplify our offer lineup so that it's easier to understand and customer happiness can be improved. We're putting our faith in you, the player base, to support us all the way, and to remove any reason why not to subscribe, whether you are brand new to the game or are a returning member. We should note that this is a bit of a risk for us to take. We really need you guys to hold on to the plans that you have and realize that we're trying to build the base of the game so that we can get it more populated. If there's a massive shift in downgrading plans, we will have to abandon this initiative entirely and return to where we have been for some time. So we're putting our best foot forward for you and being completely transparent now. Thanks for holding the line. What the future of World War II Online looks like, especially as we enter our 20th year of operation. In this segment, we're going to evaluate what the community has said and what our plans for taking technology forward looks like. To start, I want to share with you the results of a 2019 survey which had over 700 respondents. The first question we asked was, regarding our game engine, select one path that you think is the best path forward. We told you up front that we could only really do one option well, and to make your preference known. The first option was to continue developing our current engine and advance its technologies from within. Maintain the current production workflow, add in some special features, which, since we have done the survey, we have already added things in like 136, hybrid supply, 64-bit, and soon-to-be integrated voice communications. The second question was about going on to a new game engine, like the Unreal Engine, and realizing that there's some risk, uncertainty, and it will take several years to accomplish. From this, the community made their position clear, with 70% of the respondents focusing on the new game engine option, with the remaining 30% suggesting we maintain what we have and build from within. The second question we asked was, do you believe that CRS, and therefore World War II Online, has to do something significant to stay relevant in today's market? 87% of you said yes. As per the community's request, we have taken some initial steps to understand the probability of getting us onto the Unreal Engine, and right now there are two primary things our team is focused on. One, we need to maintain the scale of World War II Online that is inherent in what the product is, and enables the combined arms gameplay we all seek and desire. So we are looking to replicate our dynamic terrain loading mechanism within the Unreal Engine as a critical first objective. And while that may not be possible, we believe after enough evaluation it is theoretically possible. Along with the announcement of Unreal Engine 5, this does help. But it's also about bringing over our existing terrain as it is now and all of those positions and data. It's quite a bit involved. It's not so simple. And the second thing is we're trying to create a conversion tool or process that takes our existing vehicles and converts them into working file sets over on the Unreal Engine, with all of their hierarchy and associated data to plug into the Unreal Engine. No conversion tool of this nature exists on the market. Believe us, we've looked around quite extensively. So it's something we're going to have to create in-house, which we're working on right now. We should note that our intention to bring World War II Online into the Unreal Engine is in theory possible, but is going to take a lot of work. So we're seeking to do it. We have a plan in progress that we're working to validate right now, but there are significant obstacles in the way that could make this not happen. So we cannot promise that porting is totally possible just yet. Our objective is to show you some progress and discuss what's next so that you guys can be involved in this process with us and increase the probability of success. So let's set some expectations clearly. CRS still has a mostly volunteer crew, and to achieve these objectives, we really do require some additional funding and staffing. It's one of the reasons why we're taking a step back and reevaluating our subscription plans so that, again, we can become more accessible. And for those of you who are here as veterans, might be more willing to step up, to realize that you're not just working to keep the game online and that's it. We are genuinely trying to innovate and need your help to do so. Programming on World War II Online as we know it, what we're calling now 1.0, will slow down as we move over to the Unreal Engine. We only have a finite number of developers. This is just how it goes. We will continue to have our production team focus there though, and minor fixes on World War II Online 1.0 will continue, including new vehicles and the things that are on our roadmap. Those will all get done. Successful porting onto the Unreal Engine is the definition of World War II Online 2.0. That's what this all means. Here are some of the key reasons we're looking at moving over to the Unreal Engine. First, state-of-the-art tools enable improved workflows. That means that our artists, for example, can get their work done substantially faster within the engine without having to go back and forth between the editor and the engine program. They can see their work in the engine and actually modify it within the engine without having to go back and forth. And you can apply that to almost any artist discipline, like 3D art, texturing, animation. It's all substantially better and faster. And there's professionals around the world who already know how to use it. So once we go out to place recruitment ads to bring people in, the timeline to actually teach them how to do this versus implementing things is substantially quicker. There's also students in colleges all across the world being trained in Unreal because it's one of the premier game engines out there. And CRS is seeking to develop games, not strictly just engine maintenance. There's going to be some work where we got to work on engines, that's fine, but right now it's strictly engine maintenance. We're just trying to keep the lights on, and that's not good enough. We need to innovate. We can acquire and upgrade our new technology once the Unreal Engine rolls it out. SpeedTree is a great example. We were just looking at what it would take for us on 1.0 to upgrade our SpeedTree, and we'd have to purchase a multi-$1,000 server development kit and spend many months and personnel trying to do that, and we would still reach our CPU limitations. Whereas we go to Unreal, and guess what? The latest version of SpeedTree is already accessible and ready to go. So it makes a pretty big difference, and that's just one example. There's several others. You'll see soon that graphics will be greatly improved. Our demonstration is going to focus on that. There's also the possibility of deploying on other platforms. And then everything is really well documented. So bottom line is we can bring somebody in here, they can know how to operate in it. If they don't, they can search it. And World War II Online has had issues historically with effective documentation. We've been working on that. It's been getting better, but everything is really well documented, and you can Google or research, the wiki to figure out how to do certain functions. So here's our current objective. First is to make a demonstration of Dinant. We want to showcase the options and show you from a physical perspective what's possible. And we have a demo here for you today. We want to convert our assets over from our current engine to Unreal. We want to create a conversion tool that includes the hierarchy and data set of all of our existing vehicles so we don't have to rebuild them all over again. That's just not an option. But we can do it. We're certain we can do this. We're going to implement a working dynamic terrain loading mechanism, which will include our data as well. And then we're going to export the World War II Online terrain and import that into the Unreal Engine. All these things act as deal breakers if they're not achieved. There are also several unlisted objectives as well, but we don't want to overload you today. But all of this goes to show you that this is a working plan that's a living and breathing thing. It will be more possible with increased resources and full-time development staff. So with that being said, let's go ahead and transition into the demo and look at the possibility of what World War II Online could look like in the Unreal Engine. Now that we have concluded the technical demonstration phase of the presentation, I'd like to show you guys a little bit of what we've been working on in terms of content and capabilities. Let's take a look. While that does conclude all of the materials that we have to show you for today, it really is the beginning of something great. The future is in our hands together now, and CRS is taking in your feedback and trying new things to build on our future. We're responding to the community's request. 87% say we need to do something bold, innovative, and significant to stay in the market. 87%, and probably more now, really. So we require 100% of your support. 100%. We'll provide ongoing updates of progress on both fronts, meaning from version 1, as well as our intention to move into the Unreal Engine. How can you support game development? First things first, subscribe. Subscribe to the game at account.worldwar2online.com. Do that ASAP. If you're already subscribed or you're coming back and you want to do more, or maybe this is your first time, become a hero builder. That is the #1 way to help out the team. To find out what that means and all the details, go to worldwar2online.com/hero. Spread the news. Inform your squad. Inform your friends. Inform your communities. Go on Facebook or whatever platform you're most connected with, people who like this sort of thing. Let them know. And then stick with us. It's going to be a long haul. There's no easy way around this. There's no shortcuts. It's the community and the rats working together. We're all in this together. Thanks for your tremendous support. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for their attendance today celebrating the 20th anniversary of World War II Online. Not only is it an exciting time to just make it to this point, but now we're talking about our future in a way that all of you have been wanting for a long time. We know we've always wanted better graphics. We know we've wanted new capabilities. This is our time. This is our chance. This is our ability to rebuild anew. World War II Online 2.0 is in the balance. CRS is putting all the cards on the table for you to see now, and we're sorry we couldn't do this sooner, but we wanted to get as much of it right and save it for this monumental moment. The moment is here. How will you respond? What will you do? Every decision you make right now truly matters. If you really want 2.0, support us. That's what we need. Think of our subscriptions right now as like a Patreon, as a recurring Kickstarter. That's exactly what this is. But instead of having to give those other platforms a bunch of money, it all comes back in-house and allows me, as the guy running the project, to do bigger and better things and to get the people the game needs. So please support us in that endeavor. Subscribe. It's like a Patreon. Subscribe. Thank you very much, and congratulations everyone on this huge achievement. That's all. All right, there's a lot of that going on here with the community. I've been very much enjoying reading the chat. Guys, I said everything I had to say there. Pretty amazing stuff. A lot of interest in the Kickstarter stuff. I'll say it again. This is our time. How many of you have a yellow box? Put it in chat. Did you get your yellow box? Do you guys remember picking that up? That yellow box is so much more now. Think of it as, I'm looking at mine over here. That's what I'm looking at. I got 2. That's our time now. This is our chance, but it's not going to be easy. We said there was risks. We said that there are serious roadblocks. The #1 way that you guys can help. Oh, there's a box. Brian has it ready. Al, are you getting yours? Look at these guys. They've got their boxes ready to go. Oh, this is awesome. I wish I had mine right here, but I can't reach. Can't reach. It's in my case. This isn't going to be easy. So while that was all very exciting, our goal is to truly amp up the support, because we need developers to pull this off. There's no shortcuts. There's no easy way around it. There are serious challenges. T-Man represent. I love it. Love it. Look at these boxes. And I'm sure there's many of you here who have them as well, who are not on cam. I'm trying to decide what's next, because for many of you, even me, I made that video and I'm still sitting here stunned a little bit that we actually showed you that, because we've been like, don't tell him yet, don't tell him yet, don't tell him yet. And this is a lot of fun. T-Man, I'm going to go to you for reactions. I'm going to go through some of our rats and just sort of take this moment before we dive into a bunch of questions.
What do you think? What do you have to say to the community at this point?
Well, we've had the unfortunate pleasure of having to hold this all in, right? This has been in the works for a couple of months. It's exciting news, and it was hard. It's hard to keep it a secret. But we've seen the results. We've seen some initial results that you saw, the pictures and the stills in the video, and really excited that this could bring us a 2.0 game. And there's not a tighter community, gaming community, than World War II Online, and we have to take advantage of it.
Yeah, good stuff. Just clarification, when he says it, this took us a couple of months, he was referring to that demo, the conversion process and bring it in. The plan and this discussion has been going on for some time. The actual execution timeline is going to be a factor of years. The number of years is really going to be dependent on the amount of resources that come in from this, so that we can translate that into developers making this happen. So there's going to be a lot of, when are we going to see this? When are we going to have 2.0? First off, let's just embrace this moment and calm down as best as we can. Subscribe, like we said. And our whole idea here is to keep you involved in the process this whole time. So our Friday updates will look like a combination of, here's our vehicle production set on 1.0, here's what we're doing. And then here's what we're trying to do to advance our technologies on 2.0. So this isn't going to be something that we just say this once and you're not going to hear from us for months. We're going to keep talking about it and making sure you guys are in the loop. Now, just try to set expectations accordingly. Again, I'm going to keep saying this. It's a long haul. So instant gratification is not a thing. Calm down, be real with it. We're going to go around the room. Kempy, reactions. What do you have to say to the community?
It has been a hard secret to keep. I mean, you always hear people saying, "Oh, I wish this game would be updated" and stuff like that, and then knowing what's going on and then not being able to say anything is very hard. But everyone, like every comment, we do listen to, and we listen to the community, and that's the most important thing, is just listening to people and doing what's needed to be done for the future.
Yeah,
that's it, really.
Yeah, totally. Sniper, was there anything you wanted to say to the community? Sniper is our lead developer, so everybody knows, and he's the one who's going to be helping the other developers facilitate this plan, and it's not easy, and I'm sure he'll tell you about that. Sniper, is there anything you want to add?
Well, just to jump on what you were saying, nothing around here is a quick process. It's just the realistic nature of the beast, as we say. And it will be a multi-year process, and we definitely need help doing that. So with your guys' support, hopefully we can get some stuff moving and get some of these blocking items out of the way. And once those are taken care of, then we can move on to more items, which in turn get us closer to that 2.0 goal.
Yeah, cheers to that. And sorry, Warhammer, he says, some of us don't have multiple years left. It goes to show the range of our community in terms of age, but hang in there. We're going to do our best. So I would say, Warhammer, encourage your fellow community members to hurry up and support what we're doing, please. I'm going to go to Hatch. Hatch, if you don't know, was one of the original founding members of World War II Online, and he was part of the whole process. He was at the gazebo in Grapevine, like we were talking about. He was there when they said, this is all impossible. Hatch, thinking about that time and moving into now and being part of it again, potentially, that must be pretty extraordinary for you. What do you have to say to the community?
There's a lot going through my head that, it's hard to grab just a single thought. It's pretty, the possibility here is amazing. Everyone is aware. I mean, we've got a robust system that's been in service for 20 years now. That now we have a possibility of giving it a facelift, and not only that, but changing some of the you know, a lot, well, basically the entire environment in the process. You know, the difference, and I can't stress this enough, is like you mentioned before, and Sniper is painfully aware of, is that, as you mentioned at the start of this, we are primarily a volunteer crew. Now, there's been some changes with shuffling around like CEOs and the price point to try to naturally, organically bring in more people, that make it more affordable to get more volume. But the bottom line is, the bottom line is, when we started this, or where I was going with this, is that when we started this, we had like regular funding, and so we had an office, and we had, you know, full-time programmers they came to work and did their full day of programming. And that's not what we have today. What we have today is they're doing their normal work to keep, you know, the lights on, food in their kids' bellies, and roofs over their heads. And their passion is allowing them to give us some time on top of that. If we need to change that with their help, to where we can raise our revenue stream to the point that we have full-time programmers, that's what they're doing. They're
when you say their help, you're referring to the community
customers.
stepping up, and okay,
Community-
because we're already pushing our volunteers a little too hard.
No,
We
no,
know
no.
that.
We're pretty much maxed. I mean, we're going as fast as we can on everything already. What I was specifically trying to get, just make the point to the community. Look, it is, I don't know how long it's going to take if things stay the same, as far as the tools. Like, the initial plan, as you mentioned in the demo, was to pull over. We don't have time to rebuild everything anew to start with, but you can tell just from the video how much better all of our old art looks in the engine, with proper lighting effects, and, you know, the different environment. So the first step, like you said, is converting what we have into the Unreal Engine, so that the game can still be played, just obviously a lot in more, with a lot more depth. I would just leave it at that. And then what the community doesn't know, and I mentioned it to you the other day when talking about the video, is that once that transition from the original art that's already built is transitioned over, and we're playing the game in Unreal, then that allows the art guys to go back and start rebuilding objects, octets, you know, start to rebuilding things, upgrading our old artwork to today's standard at, I don't want to say at their leisure, but as fast as, you know, the only thing holding them up on that aspect would be how long it takes them to do the art. And I saw several of the community members in the chat, they're talking about how much, even how much easier it is to do that art in Unreal than it is in our current creator, you know,
100%,
process.
100% easier.
And also the amount of volunteers that can hop on board. Maybe we can develop some different programs. Like you said, the people are coming out of school with knowledge how to do it. Whereas, you know, what we have right now is extremely proprietary and painstakingly slow.
So the short version is, our production pipeline, in terms of not only modifying assets, but implementing new assets, will not only look better, but will be a lot less painful and way easier. So it'll be faster.
So it's amazing. I knew, you know, I've been a proponent for this for quite a while. And I mean, there's several things, from the technology about utilizing the graphics card more to do, you know, just getting better performance from utilizing the graphics card because of updated OpenGL, or, you know, D3D, whatever we end up going with on that. versus what we're currently using in the game right now. I mean, that's just a lot of stuff automatically happens just moving from the old engine to the new as far as performance, which that's one of my not, I don't want to, it's a hurdle whenever we're doing new stuff, and we can only go so far because it'll hurt performance. So that's a big thing. And then just it's beautiful. I was again, I knew that it was going to look better, but until we'd done the Denant test there. For those that don't know, that was Denant we were looking at in the video. It's amazing. I just want to, I agree with what some of the guys were saying in the chat as well. If we can do this, and I fully believe that we can with their help and some full-time development members that can focus all of their time on the tasks that Sniper lines out as they come, that we can do this. And there's no telling what World War II Online will become in the marketplace with that transition. I mean,
we feel pretty strongly about it, but we're somewhat biased.
So that's, I've spoken way longer than I meant to, but that's what I feel about it. So,
okay.
It's awesome. And with their help, the more they can pitch in and get subscribers in and just have fun with what we currently are using, the faster that those roadblocks, or I don't want to say roadblocks, I want to say target will be met, and we can go from there.
Yeah. Old Zeke, it's good to see you, man. And fully represented Corner Rat Software today. I love the shirt in the background. This must mean quite a bit from your perspective as well. I mean, it is for everybody, not to discount anyone else's thoughts, but any you've been we heard you yesterday playing the guitar as part of and singing along with the old videos from Willie T. So you're pretty connected with the community. Any message or word for them? And by the way, all of our people who are listening, very soon we're going to get to answering questions, and I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Write down your question that you might have. If you had to just pick one, what would it be? Get that ready. Zeke, go ahead.
Yeah, just that hang around. Man, I've been here 20 years. Well, actually, mine will be 20 years next month. I was a month late getting in. But we're still going. We got no plans of stopping. And I got no plans of dying anytime soon, so y'all gonna have to put up with me for a good while.
That's
too.
right. That's good.
20 more years.
All right. Well, other rats, I know you probably have a lot you want to say too, but for the benefit of the community, what I'm going to do is, if you have a question about that entire presentation, we talked about, again, transitioning from early access on Steam. We talked about integrated voice communications, which is about to enter testing, that we talked about. Or if you just have questions about 2.0, at the on your user interface here for Zoom webinar, there's a raise hand button. Would you please click that if you have a question? And let's make sure we have just one question per speaker. And we try to be concise in those responses, because there's a lot of people, most likely. Chim, are you watching Facebook? Because I'm not right now. I'm all in here on Zoom meeting.
Yeah, I've got the chat up for YouTube and Facebook. So
okay. Any quick questions that you can see from there that we could answer?
It's all just positive reports. They really like, there's a lot of comments about Hatch's answers, very positive about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people are just losing their minds. They don't know what to say. Okay. Hey, that means we did our job. So Rocky Curry here, we're going to allow you to ask your question. Rocky, you should be able to speak now. Go ahead and try. Hey, what's your call sign?
Rock 440 and Arvin 70.
Cool, man. Welcome. How can we answer your question? What do you got?
Well, I'm retired. I got plenty of time on hand. I don't know anything about programming, but I'm pretty good electronics. So if you need a helping hand, brother, I'll jump in.
I appreciate your enthusiasm. This stuff is definitely complicated, but it sounds like the number one way to support, if you haven't already become a hero builder, that will get us closer to getting one of those developers full time. But Rocky, I love your enthusiasm, and thanks for being here. It's awesome.
All right, brother. Bless you all.
You too. Okay. We have Glenn. I don't know. I don't want to bomb your last name. I'm just gonna give you the permission to speak. Glenn, is it Pruess? You should be able to talk now.
Okay. My question is, this is basically the same thing as yesterday, but it's going to be edited a bit. Would we be able to see something like in the next 30 years or something, a 0 or something else like that?
In the next 30 years?
Yeah, somewhere in between the
Now that's a pretty good estimate, man. Sniper approves. All right. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
At this point in time, our focus, as we talk about the next version of our game, the smartest thing we can do is to translate what we've got. So you saw we did a bunch of conversion tests. What we're going to be doing is sticking in the current zone that we're in, or theater, which is Western Europe. So I don't anticipate we'll have any requirements for a Japanese 0 in there, but who knows? If this all goes the way we all hope and dream, if the community rises up and supports us in the way that we can get full-time developers, first off, just getting onto this new platform and bringing in new players and enhancing our technologies, that opens the doors for us to do many things that are currently, not possible. So I want to encourage you to say, I love where your head's at. We always talked about World War II Online being this big grand scale game. And if you remember way in the early days, you actually had that theater map with the yellow circle on Western Europe. This project already in its original version 1.0 was way too big. It was too bold, really. And I think that's what we all love about it. But what you read on paper and what kind of goes on in your mind sometimes, and I don't mean you specifically, I mean even ours, it's called feature creep. We want bigger things than we can actually do sometimes. So we have to be really careful. We're going to keep coming back to it today and in our follow-up communications. We don't want to mislead you. This is not going to be simple. Let's just work on getting onto the Unreal Engine and building from there. That's our mission right now. So let's stay oriented towards that. Pete, I'm going to allow you to talk. Is that you, man? Try to talk. Okay, he's not answering. Pete, you want to unmute your mic? Okay, I can't hear you. We will come back to you. We're going to allow Trevor 8. Trevor 8's got a question. Trevor, go ahead.
Have y'all looked into the Unreal Engine in regards to the flight model? Is it going to be able to handle the flight model as well or better as our current engine?
Sniper, my understanding is essentially we're going to be bringing our flight model over. I don't want to speak out of tongue here. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I've answered that in the Q&A section as well. And to go along with what Zoom just said, we're kind of known for having a pretty good flight model and our abilities to tweak all of the different details that are included in a flight model, which Hatch can attest to. So we wouldn't be looking at initially getting rid of that as best we can. And at this stage, Unreal Engine, as far as the little bit of discovery that we've looked into it, they don't have the best default flight characteristics. So we would be planning on bringing as much as we can over with us.
Yeah, very good. I'm going to answer a couple of questions we have here in the Q&A section. Let's see here. Bez5678 says, will CRS consider reintroducing the Platinum Lifetime membership? So yes, our recent Platinum member was Obelix1, and that was not too long ago. We do that privately. It's not something you could just go and go on our website or our billing pages and just do it. The reason for that is that we want to make sure we have that interaction with you. And we just don't want somebody to do that and then say, oh, no, I don't actually want that, and then go through this process. So if that's something you would like to do, it's $2,500. It's one time. You get a lifetime membership to World War II Online. You get added to the credits, and you also get your picture in the Army base bunker. So those platinum builders that are in there, anyone who's, if you go in the bunker and you see all these pictures of people, those are platinum builders, and that can be you. Contact us through support, and Pete will direct you to me, and that's how you get started with that. So yeah. Dave Barnowski, hopefully I said that correctly. Did you show how the map has grown over the years, as well as your plans for future growth? Through this demo today, we did not. We are pretty well known for the map size and the scale. We did touch base on that in our history portion yesterday. In terms of our future plans for expanding that, that's not currently on our mission table. I should say TR6 Al is our terrain guy. He's constantly working on, every time you guys put in a bug report, he's there to fix those and deploy them. That is going to continue throughout this process. Al will continue to develop towns and manipulate towns, like edit the towns, I should say. There might be some limited growth, but terrain is very finicky in our current version of the game. It's the stakes are high. We saw that recently in a patch we did where we had to disable a couple of our towns due to those errors. And so it's a high risk proposition. The game world itself will not expand dramatically, but there might be, some edits to towns, maybe a few new towns, but nothing quite extraordinary yet. Our primary focus, especially as we refer to our development team, is now completing our remaining tasks that we have on a roadmap. One of those, of course, being integrated voice communications, and then focusing on our transition to Unreal Engine 4 and knocking out those two major priorities, which are the FLT conversions. We want to bring our vehicles over, as well as maintaining our terrain loading scheme, which is, as you move throughout World War II Online right now, you're loading all these cells around you. And so we need to ensure that that's something we keep. World War II Online 2 is all about, respecting and adhering to the scale of World War II Online 1. That is a prerequisite. It's required for us to do that. As far as adding Paris, I see Bill Janowicz just wrote that, not critical. Al, do you want to talk about Paris or expansion into there? Because I know we have the Eiffel Tower up, but that's just a landmark, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Paris is a fairly long way down, so there's a couple of large sections of towns to get there. So it's not just a matter of running a road down and have Paris going. We could get it going, but it's all the other time involved getting towns to basically a funnel shape down to that point.
Yeah.
So we're looking at hundreds of towns, not just 5 or 6. So
yeah,
not in the near future.
Yeah, very good. And I'm going to say it one more time. The production. So there's two major teams here at play. The development team, which are our programmers, our coders, they're going to be working on finishing up the roadmap that we have now as it relates to them. And then they're going to work on Unreal stuff. Again, we talked about there's going to be a slowdown, therefore, for programming in the current version. We'll still have releases. They'll support it in that respect. But the production team is all about vehicle and terrain stuff. So the visual things you interact with. That's going to continue for the foreseeable future to complete the existing roadmap we have right now. And so that's how you should be expecting and deliveries to World War II Online. What we're not doing is simply just cutting off the valve for our current version of the game and leaving you guys to starve without any new content. We're not doing that. I should note that we are not too far away from taking our first break, and really I think probably our only one. That will be 15 minutes.
Can I just address a couple questions from social media?
I'm not done quite yet, but yes, one sec. I was just going to say, although our last video said this is all the content we have for you to show today, we have another video when we come back after that break that's also very compelling. I just want to encourage you guys not to bail for the day. This is not all the news we have to share, so please stick around even after the break. Chim, you've got some things on social media. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I've got 2 or 3 here. So the first one is from Sapphire, Sapphire. The models are going to be, or I'm sorry, where is it? He was asking about the airplane models. I explained to him in chat that the airplane models, our initial goal is to get the models into the game engine first.
Right.
And then down the road, not immediately, but down the road is we'll be looking at other models if applicable. Another question is, will Unreal help with the lag for Europe or Aussie players or make it worse?
We're not ready to talk about networking. The networking, you should expect, Sniper, help me out here. We're going to continue to have our host infrastructure that we have now, because that is sort of the magic that supports what World War II Online does. We're not just going to abandon that entirely. There might be some modifications, but again, before we get off into commitment and feature creep land, we need to first just realize who we have to work with, who's working on our team right now, and that's our programmers are a great group, as well as all of our volunteers. We really appreciate them. These volunteers do a lot more stuff than the average person would, and that's what needs to be really understood today. If you walk away with anything, is here's our opportunity, here's what we need to make it happen. We're putting it all on the table for you to realize that. Let's not get too crazy about what to expect. At this time, I would say to the users in Australia, you should expect no change at this point. Does that sound good, Sniper?
Yeah, that's the gist of it. There are some networking configurations or changes that will be possible once we get further in the process. But as Zoom stated, the physical locations of the servers and those actual distances from different parts of the world at this time will not change. So it might get a little bit better, but that's about it.
Is that your World War II Online box next to your cat back there?
Yeah, she takes care of it.
You have a caretaker for your box. That's awesome. Somebody just asked for an approximate ETA on the Unreal Engine stuff. We're not going to do that. I'm going to repeat that. The worst thing we can do right now is put an extraordinary amount of pressure on our already spread out and tapped out developers. So please realize that we would love nothing more than to say, bam, 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 here's the plan. We're sharing with you the plan, but not an exact timeline because it's fluid. And this isn't the fact that we don't have goals. This is just us being very, very transparent and real with you. We're going to keep you updated as we make developments through this process. We need your patience and grace, and also just realize what we put on the table today is the beginning. There's a lot to happen. It's going to take a while. And we're not like where we were, as Hatch talked about earlier. We don't have millions in the bank, 2 floors and 50 full-time employees. The people mostly you see on camera today are highly appreciated volunteers. And the community, we need your help to fix this. And we're going to talk about this more. The best thing you can do right now is subscribe. If you're already subscribed, go to that hero plan. It's $30 a month. There's an even better plan, which is $50 a month. You don't get anything different, but you do contribute more into CRS. And that therefore helps me be able to look at bringing on a full-time developer. And we need multiple full-time developers to do this. The progress therefore that you see that we've talked about so far, and us being very careful about setting expectations, is because we're dependent on their timelines and availability. We could simply buy the time of a developer and their availability and then apply it strictly to World War II Online. That's what we need to do. Acton Man 3, 3rd Panzer, I should say, is CRS going into a partnership with GameStop and AMC to live stream the game into cinemas for paying audiences. Bold, but I don't know.
Pretty funny.
I think that as news of this gets around, we'll be able to get more eyes on target. And we hope that you guys who are watching, whether you're on social media, whether you're here presently in Zoom right now, or maybe you couldn't make it today, but you're watching this later, realize how important you are. These people that you're seeing on camera right now can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. And as I said in our presentation, when CRS and the community comes together, we accomplish tremendous things. We're doing our part to say, here it is. Are you going to go for it? Are you with us? I certainly hope so. Chim, do you have more questions from social media?
No. Nope.
Okay. Stephen Close said he's a retired developer that did flight sim for Hughes Aircraft, but admittedly afraid to throw my name in the hat. Excuse me. Well, we're glad you're here and even considering that, because it's sort of those things, that willingness to step up, like these people you see on camera. These people, our team, decided that this means a lot to them, and they stepped up, and they're delivering every day, doing the best they can for you, the community. There are many more of you out there. We encourage you, we implore you to step up and don't be afraid. There's a learning curve. This isn't easy. It's not all fun and games on this side. It is business. It's work. But if you have the skill set and capability, and therefore an ambition and willingness to help, you don't realize how important that might be to this whole scenario, because each one of these people contribute tremendously in their respective area. And maybe you're not a developer. Maybe you're somebody else who just says, hey, I'm interested in helping the community, or maybe I'm a marketing guy. Those work too. But the most important people that we need on the team right now are developers. No doubt. Sniper needs more people to facilitate the execution of this plan. He can't do it with the guys he has entirely or in a timeline that you desire. If you help provide those resources, we can get the people and accelerate the timeline. Suderman, I hope I said that right. Gliders would be cool, although I don't know if Germans use them. Not regarding paratroopers. Did you guys ever consider adding ammo crates, which could be dropped from transport airplanes? Yes, we did consider that, and it's a really cool idea. Not currently on our priority list. We need to stay mission oriented towards what it is we've just laid out for you today. So we've got Peter Gent here. He's been waiting for a while. Sorry. Peter, you've got the ability to ask your question now.
Hey Zoom, how's it going?
Good, man. It's a good day. Did you expect this?
It's sunny weather and I'm stuck indoors, but you know, that's the life of World War II Online, really, isn't it?
So recently you've been helping out to try and Peter has been trying to get a lot of awareness. This is a good example of somebody who cares about the game, and he's going out of his way to communicate with how would you say it, press, to get us connected with press. This is just one example of many of people who care and do something. So Peter, I wanted to thank you for doing that. But since we've been in contact recently, and I said, hey man, wait until we get to the anniversary, you'll see.
It is good news, to be
I
honest
was going to
with
say,
you.
what do you think? Yeah.
It's really, really good news. Yeah, I'm really happy about it.
Good. Well, I don't mean to interrupt you any further. What was your question?
Well, it was a bit of a planted question. The question was, are you intending to attend any conferences that aren't World War II Online related in the coming year? There's GDC coming up this month, and I thought, it's a great way to promote the game, and it might bring in like developers or people that are interested in helping out the game. So
yeah, so as we've been in discussion about recently, I looked into what it would take for us to get into GDC, and it is, for a remote booth, it is doable. It'd be a little stretch, but it is doable. I'm still, first off, just trying to make it through today and this weekend. And then it's a matter of effectiveness. At GDC, mostly those are for, hey, pitch your game to us. And no doubt World War II Online 2.0 is one hell of a pitch. I think I would be more interested in looking at that next year as this plan matures, as our community steps up, as we possibly and hopefully get to hire some full-time developers and we get some real traction. I don't think we're quite in the position for that to reach its peak effectiveness right now. And there is such a thing as doing it a little too early. We took a risk today, excuse me, in talking to you about this. Some people might say, hey, it's a little bit early to be talking about this. And they're right. But at this point, we don't have much of a choice but to come to you, our community, who are in this with us, who have proven over 20 years now that this means something to you, to say, here's where we're at. It's kind of like a family huddle. Here's what we want to do. Here's what we need. I know I keep repeating that, but I'm trying to really press it home. We know, contrary to what may be popular belief, CRS actually does know what we need to do. It's a matter of us being able to accomplish it. So I really hope you guys can appreciate us coming out in this way, taking a couple of risks to say, here's what we want. And so far the feedback suggests that, yes, you guys are getting this, you're motivated, you're enthusiastic, and are willing to help us. Do we have other questions? If you guys want to raise your hand. Jim, when was our break supposed to be? Is it 11:15?
Yeah, I think we're right on schedule, basically.
Good. I like it when things work out. That's very helpful. I'm gonna verify. Oh, our break was supposed to be 10 minutes ago. Oh well. We're crazy here. We just get enthusiastic about it. You know what? On that note, since we don't have any hands up, we don't have people on social media asking questions, we're going to take a 10-minute break and we'll come back at 11:20. So get up, stretch around. If you guys would like to talk, if my panelists, my fellow co-hosts could activate a couple of the player microphones, let them talk, let them just share in this moment. Let's keep the discussion focused around the presentation they just saw and what they think of it. Let's get some like real-time testimonials. I think that would be cool. And remember, don't forget, when we come back, we're going to have another really good video for you of some stuff that has never been talked about. And I think you're going to be really interested in it. So on that note, I'm going to take a break. You guys just enjoy the controlled chaos for the next 10 minutes. Just don't forget to talk. You guys can jump out. Players, what do you think? You guys, if you have an active microphone, this must be great news.
Can you hear me? Steve Clow here. I don't know if my mic's.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I was a player way back when you guys first started and loved it. You know, I have to admit, I kind of got onto the IL2 Sturmovik thing. I do the VR version. And I tell you, it's just such an amazing experience when you're doing VR, because you obviously look around your cockpit. You're not worried with doing a hat, you know, where you're trying to move it around to see what's going on. That to me is a big deal. And I did ask the question, and I was glad to see that I guess moving to Unreal kind of improves that capability or that possibility of eventually getting towards VR. And that's sort of what I'm hoping to see at some point, but maybe that's too far down.
In other words, it sounds sick.
I gotta say with the advent of Unreal, I'm really looking forward to the lighting. It just makes it intensely immersive, even from the air. I mean, if you're seeing these streets lit up, you know, it's an advantage for pilots to see what they're shooting at. When you go around corners, you get to see, you know, the people better. It's just less 2D feeling. So I'm really supporting that on Unreal.
Sounds awesome.
My understanding is that those individual streetlights can actually out.
They can what?
They can be shot out.
Oh, I guess you could make that happen. Yeah.
I've got a question for. So the comment was made that of switching to Unreal 4. So Unreal 5's been announced. You've already mentioned that as well. But why migrate to Unreal 4 rather than just straight to Unreal 5?
Unreal's suggestion is, if you're developing a game right now, focus it on the current version of Unreal 4. There is a upgrade process from 4 to 5 that will be a thing for when it's actually released. So they will have that capability enabled. So moving from 4 to 5 shouldn't be a problem. But right now 5 is in such a early stage that Unreal does not suggest developers going straight into it and starting a new game, basically what we're doing. So at the moment, we're trying to keep things safe with possibilities of things changing throughout the introduction of Unreal 5, and that's what we're going with.
Cool. So they're going to help with that migration path. That's great.
Quick question. If has there been any ability to test any of the flight models in the Unreal yet?
Not yet. Nope.
Okay.
We're too early in the process at this stage. The two focuses are the things that Zoom said in his presentation in regards to dynamic terrain loading and model conversions. Once those two hurdles are taken away and completed, then we can move on to actual testing inside the engine itself.
Cool. Thank you.
So how do you get like a volunteer developer engaged? I mean, it just seems like it would be such a huge, like bulk of code and complexity and everything. Do you just break it down into one, particular feature or function or something?
Yeah, just a general introduction to everything is very minimal. So we try to keep things focused in a small manner, task specific per developer, so that they don't get overwhelmed. The problem with our current game code base is it's been around for 20 years, and the majority of it was created 20 years ago. So there's a lot of optimization that can be had with our current code. And because it's been around so long, there's a lot of, we call it spaghetti code, which basically means that you're working on one thing over here in this part of the code, but it ties through three different aspects of different parts of the code. So for new developers coming on the team, that's kind of one of the biggest issues and hurdles that they deal with, trying to wrap their head around how the different parts of the code work. With the move to Unreal Engine, we could minimize that because the Unreal Engine does so much of what our current client does that our current client code base would shrink. So there would be less of that spaghetti code problems. And on top of that, there's a lot more documented code bases within Unreal Engine and other developers that post on forums and different places that things could be better researched and better helped from the external community instead of just our proprietary stuff that we cannot do that with.
Hey, Sniper, but discounting all the other auxiliary and ancillary services, give them an idea how large the code base is in lines of code.
That I've never actually done a total line count for how much code, but I would chalk it up there between over millions of lines of code. So there's a drastic amount of code once you actually get into the weeds and start looking at things, and how different our client, because of its age and when it was written, as you guys were hearing from yesterday's team members, CRS1, they were basically doing something from the ground up, where nowadays games, they do not work that way. They're built on top of other things that other developers have already done. So it's a drastic difference in complexity than a modern game nowadays.
What happened with Terrain 2 and the number of houses and cities and stuff that were going to be built down to Normandy?
Al or Hatch, are you guys around to answer that one?
What do you mean by Terrain 2?
He was talking about the terrain expansion plans for going down to Normandy and up through the northern part of the map and then eastern Germany, all those different segments.
Okay, the main issue with that, excuse me, I'm eating, is is that towns were built. So people spent an awful lot of time building some towns, huge amount of time, over 100 of them, of towns. And then they didn't get put in. As the game progressed, they went through different updates, different versions. Those towns then grabbed as a group and moved forward. And some of the processes in how the towns are actually linked weren't followed properly. So what's happened is trying to put those towns back in again. Like, the towns are physically there. The buildings are there, the layout's there. I have the files for the building, for the towns, but the links aren't there, and other things have been changed and replaced around those towns, so that when I try and link them up, they don't match. So it's extremely time consuming to actually go in, get a couple of towns set up. Then I have to go and compile the terrain. Then I have to go and test it. So we're looking probably a day just to do that for a couple of towns. So I've kind of put them off on the back burner through no choice of my own. If I want new things to be put into game, I have to prioritize my time. Hopefully I'm far enough ahead now that I can, with new stuff, that I can actually go back in and start looking at this properly. I also have other ways I think of maybe bypassing that. Anyway, I'm trying, but that's effectively all I can say for now.
I thought everything was really easy here, Al. What the hell?
Apparently.
Hey, look, we're to the point now where we need to get back to our second video, and then we have some follow-up questions as well. So panelists, please again help me. I know this is kind of annoying, right? But please help me by going to the attendees list, clicking more, and let's start removing those permissions to talk. And again, there's going to be an opportunity for more questions, everybody. So let's make sure we get your most important questions written down. What we want to allow one question per person at a time, and not create this sort of rolling next thing, because there's a lot of people. There's literally 135 people here, plus probably several others outside of here that have a question. And for those who watch it later, sometimes hearing the same voice repeatedly, and yeah, believe me, I'm tired of hearing my own voice today. They just kind of tune out after a while. So once all these microphones are disabled on the attendees list, everyone who's a co-host, please help with that. We will start our second video and get going. We haven't talked about this before, so no one should know what's coming, which is kind of cool. Stay patient. You only have to click this button 135 times. I wish Zoom webinar was a little bit better in this respect. It's very manually intensive. It reminds me of our host tools when we meant to make changes to supply or something. In fact, I just promoted somebody randomly to a panelist. Oops. Yeah. Are we there yet? We're still going through the list? Okay. Well, let me get the video set up while they're doing that. For those of you who still have microphone access, it will be going away temporarily. I just ask you to please be respectful and all that. So can we just see, does it say one more thing? Do you guys see this?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. In the chat, are you guys ready? Is everybody ready to go? Let's see. Yes, one more thing is classic. You betcha. That was the plan. Jay Rona's not ready. He needs a minute. So we're going to wait for him.
God,
Blame
I can't wait. I
blame
cannot wait.
Jay Rona. Just kidding.
Rona's always been a slacker.
Such a slacker.
Always one.
Okay, these guys are ready. I don't think I can hold off any longer. Okay, so again, hopefully it's not too loud, but I've maxed out the volume. Here we go, guys. For the first time, we're going to be unveiling something you never heard about. There was no lead up to this. This is really exciting news. Here we go.
We know it's already been a pretty busy day, full of great news for World War II Online and the future, but we have one more thing to share with you. As we've just announced, our intention to start developing World War II Online in the Unreal Engine, we want to accelerate our progress and overall timeline. And recently, we've made a big move to help make that possible. We have acquired a new team called Talos Interactive, and their World War II-based first-person shooter title, which has been in development on the Unreal Engine for some time. We'd like to welcome them aboard, and their community officially, to the World War II Online family. And it should be noted that Talos Interactive is now considered a second division, or Wing 2, at Cornered Rat Software, specifically focused on developing into the future. Together, we will continue to bring authentic World War II gaming experiences to the world. And it should also be noted that both games will fall under the World War II Online banner, including the web presence and company. This ranges from our website, social media, forums, and more. One exception will be this new title will have its own Steam store page. All of this marks the beginning of a World War II Online franchise with the future potential to add more games and possibilities. With that being said, we're pleased to announce World War II Online's newest game title. Introducing World War II Online Chokepoint, a new game in development by Cornered Rat Software. Chokepoint is in development on the Unreal Engine 4, and it will be transported into Unreal 5 as well. It's set in 1944 during the liberation of Europe, and you can play as either a member of the United States Airborne or as part of the Wehrmacht, whether you're a regular soldat or a Fallschirmjäger. It's a first-person tactical shooter, driven by teamwork, communications, and skill. This is not a hyper-fast run-and-gun type of game. It's currently infantry only with 36-player matches, which we can expand on in the future. You will fight to control key territory and clash against the enemy at strategic choke points. The game is entirely designed to give you a realistic feel in World War II, so it's a bit methodical yet still fun. You won't see much on your heads-up display. That's intentional to keep you immersed in the action. By signing up to Chokepoint, you will also get access to World War II Online, and vice versa. We refer to this as franchise access. All the art that you see here has been part of multiple playtests already, and is part of the Lafayette bridge scene. These are in-engine working assets. They've been strategically placed to provide cover, concealment, and tactical maneuverability. Players start at each end of the map and clash between tanks, gliders, hedgerows, haystacks, half-tracks, tractors, buildings, pawns, and you'll need an engineer to help blow up the German 88 as part of a key objective on this map. Hands down, we will be opening the door to a whole new force of people interested in working on the game. That's because the Unreal Engine is taught in colleges across the world and is the premier game engine for the next generation of developers. It helps that it's also well documented, so progress can happen faster. Chokepoint will be instrumental in hanging on to users who may not desire the full World War II Online campaign experience, and it will also act as a recruitment tool to show people that the bigger game experience of World War II Online that we all know and have loved for so many years exists, so it's mutually beneficial in every way. Chokepoint utilizes a drop-in command structure, essential to providing instant cohesion upon getting into the game. We want people to work together, and utilizing already built-in voice communications, powered by Vivox technology, we see this happening already in playtest sessions. Remember how we said the game is immersive? Check out this scene real quick. It's important to play as a team, and in Chokepoint, you can use real-world tactics like using 2 fire teams to create a base of fire and have a maneuver element to take out opposing forces. much like you see happening here in this shot. Get the full paratrooper experience and jump out of a perfectly good airplane. At Eglise, German searchlights and flakbursts are aware of the Allied jump taking place. You'll start this map jumping out of a C-47 and grouping up on the ground. Then you'll head towards your first objective. War is absolute hell, and Chokepoint aims to make that part clear. We want to produce an authentic experience, and the brutality of war is depicted in many ways, much like this photo of an unlucky paratrooper. To start out, we will have 3 maps, but we have more planned in the future. Those include Carentan, Lafayette, and Eglise. Welcome to the Lafayette Bridge, a beautiful place surrounded by bodies of water and elements of war. As we cruise down the main road, take special note of the level of detail added to bring you to this place. Fighting will occur up and down the roads primarily, while the flanks offer an opportunity to maneuver around enemy positions. Expect to hear the ambience of war, and the infamous "We've captured an area" sound as the tide of battle sways. Welcome to Carentan, where a great combination of field fighting and urban combat takes place. The US will have a hard time taking the first point, but after their foothold is obtained, it'll be pretty hard to stop them. Street fighting is prevalent as US forces push into the town where the Germans are waiting. Welcome to St. Mary-Eglise, our nighttime map emphasizing urban warfare. Each corner could be devastating, much like what you're about to see in this video. We already have game servers located in the USA and Germany. These have been established for playtesting so that we can have better localized connectivity from users in both North America and Europe. We will plan to add some more in the future before and after we release based on geographic and customer needs. We're pleased to announce that we will have one sign-up path for World War II Online franchise players. Whether you've been a World War II Onliner since day one or you've just signed up today, you will get access to both games. That includes subscribers and free players. We hope by doing this you realize that we want as many players to be in both games and remove as much of a barrier as possible. All subscriptions will go to support World War II Online's continuation and growth. World War II Online builders will receive early access to Chokepoint and be eligible for playtesting by July 1st, 2021. If you are interested in becoming a builder, go to worldwar2online.com/hero to see what that entails. On that note, we should mention that the builder program will likely be expanded to provide recognition items in Chokepoint in the future. This is a crucial point to make. For a long time, Corner Rat software has been inundated with laborious engine maintenance tasks. We've done our due diligence and will continue to do so, but the mark of going onto the Unreal Engine really helps us, at least from a client and production workflow perspective, not to mention the graphics. But that's really important to identify. What that means is we can get more artists to work on state-of-the-art tools, removing undesirable workflows that take significant time to create in. This also means great things for the speed and quality of game development going forward. So to recap, we're pressing into a new engine. There are new servers coming throughout the world. We're bringing new games and players into World War II Online. And we're operating with a renewed and bold vision. While this concludes today's announcements, we wanted to say thank you for making all of this possible, and we hope you are as excited as we are about the prospect of advancing World War II Online in so many ways. Without you, none of this would be possible. So thank you and salute to the World War II Online subscribers for all these years, and we hope we have your support going forward. Well, we don't need to watch it again. Guys, wow. Was that cool? What do you guys think? Type it out. Type it out. What do you think?
Yeah, that was cool.
That was awesome. All right. Well, look, we have a couple people here from our new Division 2. So we talked about Wing 2 some years ago. We need to get them in here to be able to talk. So we have Stefan. Stefan, allowed to talk. We will promote you to a panelist in just a second. Where's Tiago at? Let's get Vanguard or Tiago. Okay, there he is. Just a second, guys. Promote the panelist and promote the panelist. So just bear with us as we get them set up. They're going to talk to you and say hello to the World War II Online community.
Stefan is the team lead and the director of World War II Online Chokepoint, and Tiago is the community manager, and he also does some development type stuff. So I'm going to make you guys co-hosts really quickly. Stefan, you should be able to talk now. Are you there? Oh, can't hear you. You're unmuted, but let's make sure your microphone. There's a microphone button at the bottom left and the little up arrow. If you click that, you can select your microphone.
All right, should be working now.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Perfect. All right. Well, we've already unveiled quite a bit of stuff, but let's unveil me first, sort of. So who am I? I'm Stefan, as already introduced. I'll make this short. I've been a game developer professionally for the past almost 11 years now, and in total about 20-ish. I've started my game development journey on some really old games, but the actual start, I think, was 2000, around 2000 with Day of Defeat. Some of you may or may not have played that. And then I joined back then it was called L team in 2004, when Half-Life 2 was released. And that's basically me. Let's go to Vanguard.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. You can see my real name. I'm Tiago, but online I go by Vanguard XE. I am quite the opposite of Stefan here because I am quite a newbie in the games industry. I've spent most of my life playing them, but I've worked with some mods in my early teens. During my late teens, I took a video game development course, and well, it led me here to a game that I've discovered through working on said mods and doing exploration. And now I'm here as a community manager, and I help around wherever possible as I'm still learning and I'm still picking things up, but it's going great.
Cool. All right. Unless you want to say something.
No, go ahead. By all means, go ahead.
Let's continue. What is Chokepoint? There's more to be said than the video already showed, although the video showed quite a good deal already. Historically, Chokepoint is known or was known as Resistance and Liberation, also something some of you may or may not have played already. It was founded in 2003 sometime. I joined a little less than a year after it was founded. We built it up for, I believe, 4 or 5 years until we released in 2007, and then supported it until 2012 roughly, which is when the Steam ran out, sort of, and people just went on with their lives. But it has never been really dead, as Tiago Vanguard will be telling you in a couple of minutes. Between 2012 and 2015, I thought, well, that's still a nice game. Let's see what we can do about it. And I experimented a little with different engines. At that point, I had started fresh into my professional career, so I had lots of new experiences, lots of new, well, you get the idea. And then from 2015 on, I actually took a good look into the Resistance Liberation community on the old mod and realized, well, there's still a couple hundred, if not 1,000 players somewhat hanging around who we can reach. And I thought, well, let's reach them. So that's how this all started. So in the past 6 years almost now, oh boy, we've been building this game with several people. And I'm going to dive into how we did that in a minute. But let's recap history from Vanguard's perspective.
Oh, indeed. RNL has had quite a turbulent couple of, what was it now? It's almost, well, the first version released in 2009, it's 2021. It's been a while. It's been it used to be a very popular mod back in the day. It used to draw in crowds from the insurgency crowds, if you remember when that was a mod. It was to be a very similar sort of game. And I joined kind of late to the party, around 2012, 2011, when I first played the game. But I really only got into it in around 2014, 2015, when it started to take a bit of a, the game kind of died. The people who worked on the mod originally, they stopped working on it, but we kept the game alive. And I'm one of those people who kept the game alive, mostly through these units and clans that all try to keep the game alive through holding events and realisms. And I've been doing that for the past 3 years now. And I've been keeping in touch with the community, and I've been keeping the game alive as best I can. It's a game that's very community driven because of exactly this. It's got a small but rich community full of people who are, believe it or not, still willing to put through the source engine's trials and tribulations to bring amazing maps. In fact, the latest one of the latest maps that was released is called U-Boat. It is a whole rainy paradrop map where you drop into a forest and then fight through German entrenchments to get into a sub pen and blow everything up. It's amazing the kind of dedication that the community still has, despite being so small. In fact, even now, as we speak, there's a Normandy campaign going on, which is sort of a recreation of the Normandy campaign with some special rules. But yes, it's been a long, turbulent history, and the game's been developed for a long time, and we are looking to capture that feel of a realistic tactical shooter again, but better. Because if there's one thing that RNL is janky, but Chokepoint won't be, because we've made sure it isn't.
We'll retain some of the jankiness for sure, because that's what makes it game.
It's a bit of character.
Those of you who did the math, you'll realize we're also approaching 20 years. Not quite there yet, but getting there. And there's more similarities, as I'll get into in a minute. So just to answer one of the bigger questions, I guess, why are we making this game? Why did we reboot this title? And first off, from the marketing perspective, because we believe there's space for an authentic gaming experience that is highly focused on teamwork and squad tactics. And I believe that will appeal to some of you as well. We also believe that there's space for a World War II themed multiplayer game that offers mid-scale infantry experience that you can basically hop on and play for 15 minutes if that's what the time you have for that day, or 2 hours if you like. This isn't a game where you have to invest 2 or 3 hours just to get the maximum out of it per day. We also want to pay tribute to the original game, because I feel, as the only original developer left, we never fully finished it. There were so many things we wanted to do, and we can now actually do, because we have not just the resources, but also the technology to do it. And last but not least, we have about 1,000 players in our community now who want us to make it. So we will. How are we going to make this game? Or how are we making it? Because we're already making it. No surprise there, Unreal Engine 4 with Unreal Engine 5 on the radar. I'm really hyped for that one. Specifically, we've built the game in a way where it's very nimble. If we say we want to go to the next Unreal version being 4.27, that takes me half a day to do, and then it will be live, basically. Much like World War II Online, we've been developing this as a passion project. I have been developing this in my spare time. There's been about 36 people with this version involved now. With the old version, it was over 100. And what do we want to achieve? We want to achieve an authentic World War II experience that features nerve-wracking infantry encounters that range from head-on attacks to just also stealthy flanking. We just did that in a playtest a couple of weeks ago. We also want to deliver an old-school experience that is server client-based with highly detailed mid-sized maps. And if I say, when I say mid-sized, think about somewhere between Counter-Strike and Battlefield, roughly here in the middle. We also want to support communities. Maybe you want to host your own server in some regard, maybe you want to build a clan, and we will support you in that endeavor. And I think that basically concludes this.
Any last things on your end, Tiago, or no?
Oh, yeah, of course. This game, I've seen some people here, in the, some attendees, and I'm eager to get to your questions. But final thing is, this game is RNL is a game that has a lot of ideas that, like many mods, you see these ideas being developed, you see them being worked on, you remember them being very successful back in the day, but they sort of fade eventually because people move on, people work on different things. This is going to be a breath of fresh air into the tactical shooter genre. This game has mechanics that some of you may even remember if you played the game. There is, for example, one amazing mechanic in this game that has led to amazing moments that everyone remembers, which is the 3D audio voice, which means anyone can hear you so long as they're close to you. That means friends or foes. So if you're not careful about what you're saying, or perhaps if you are a more slyly minded player, you can fool the enemy into believing you're a friend behind the door. They'll open the door with open arms, and all they get is a nasty surprise made up of lead and gunpowder. It's very fun. It's a very energetic experience. It's something new and different that I believe, and we believe, deserves to be brought back in a new, formidable, better version.
Awesome. Well, right as we're getting ready, I know there's some hands up already. Get your questions set up. I want to make a couple comments. Given everything we've just heard, we saw the video. We did our best to try and explain to you guys what is this. And while this doesn't necessarily affect what they're currently doing, I want to come out and say that the World War II online community historically has this little burn, and I've seen it come up a couple of times in chat. I hope that this project called Chokepoint and the new team that we have brought on board, I hope that enough right there, both visually and the fact that we have other people working on this, demonstrates to you in no uncertain circumstance that this is not rapid assault. And I'm just coming out right now and saying it. I know that's a source of concern. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. This is very different. It's compelling. It's using state-of-the-art tools. We just talked about our direction going in, moving into the Unreal Engine. Stefan, along with his team, represents a lot of knowledge in that domain that we're just now learning about or are getting better at. So he's also acting as a good advisor for that. All the assets that you just saw, there was a label about this, but the assets you saw are now interchangeable between the projects. And it's going to act as a good middle ground for us to be able to develop things further. So the circumstances are very different. We haven't been working on this in isolation. They were working on this as another company. We've acquired them. We've been as transparent as we can, as quickly as we could with you guys. So what I'd hate for things to go is to like, oh, this is going to be the next RA, but it looks better. No, it's not. It's a very different game. And there is a place for us to have this because it appeals to those, as Stefan was talking about. Maybe people don't have multiple hours. But all the same, we can still capture those people who work really well in this type of game who may not work very well in World War II Online. And this game could act as a recruitment tool to bolster people into World War II Online. And they're very different demographics in terms of what they want. So I hope that's clear. I hope the differences are obvious and that this comes as a good and welcome surprise. You will see a lot of changes on our website today that has more information about this. And our Steam store page will be up this week. It's not currently up yet, but we had to announce it during our videos. With that being said, now that disclaimer is out of the way and things are looking really awesome, I wanted to get into a position to start taking questions. So click the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen if you've got questions for Stefan or Tiago. I will be here to kind of help in between as well. T-Man, could you please take over in terms of facilitating the questions and raising hands and all that stuff? Allowing people to talk. I'd appreciate that.
Yes, sure. I don't see who's raising their hand though.
Click the attendees tab under participants. And then at the upper right, you'll see attendees, and then I'll scroll all the way to the top.
While he's getting set up, I have one question from social media.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, let's see here. This is from Facebook. It says, have you thought about adding bots to bots of the map for more population of targets to shoot, like like in CSS. Not that many, but enough to have the feeling that huge fight going on.
Is this regarding Chokepoint or our current game?
Chokepoint. It's Chokepoint.
I'll take that one then. Have we thought about it? Yes. Have we developed a very, very basic version of bots that can play the game and kill you? Yes. Am I confident that they'll be in the first release? Highly unlikely, because there's a ton of stuff we need to finish first, and bots are not on that list currently. Although personally, I'm a big proponent of having them at some point in time. And given my experience as an AI developer professionally, I don't see any big roadblocks to getting there. The biggest constraint there simply being time.
No, go ahead, T-Man.
Okay, anybody else who has a particular question, hit that raise hand button.
We have 3 so far. Do you see them?
No, I do not.
Okay. At the bottom of the screen, do you have the participants tab open? So you click on participants, and then at the upper right, you'll see.
Yeah, sorry, I do. Okay.
No problem.
These 4. Yeah, okay. So we got Peter Gent. Let me bring Peter up. There we go. Hey, Peter, go ahead with your question.
Hey there. It seems like in Chokepoint, the quality of the levels is superior to the technical demo that was done for the wide-scale World War II Online game. So my question is there any way that we can procedurally generate the World War II Online map to get it to a better standard of quality as with Chokepoint? That's my question.
Well, you're talking about 2 very different scales, and procedural generation of assets is one thing, but we don't know yet. That's the bottom line. We know that regardless, it's going to look a hell of a lot better than what we have now. We know that we're going to be getting access to a lot more capabilities and personnel that are currently cut off. So visually speaking, because Chokepoint is in a much more controlled environment by comparison, you can obtain more. But they're pushing the limits over there. So think about that for a moment when you ask the question. They're pushing the limits in a smaller box, if you will, and it looks great. It's very competitive and exciting, and we look forward to that growing. Again, some of the things that can be utilized are some of the buildings, some of the other assets can be transplanted into Unreal demo or the eventual 2.0. So there's a benefit there. But when you talk about scale, you've really got to factor that in, and it's not a simple, it's not a simple answer. Could it look better than the demo? Perhaps, but we tried to be very intentional in setting expectations and not going overkill. We could have provided a demo to that caliber, but we're not there yet, and we don't know if we can be. But if you like the demo, if you were excited about its potential, focus on that and realize they're 2 very different scaled games.
Okay.
Thanks, Peter. Jim Ryan, what's your game name, Jim? Jim, you can hit unmute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, Savage Winar, been here since 01. Can't stop playing the game, so I guess I'm stuck with you guys. So I guess my main question has to come around VR. I think especially when it comes to flying, it's I know there's that little thing you can put on your TV and it tracks your head where that's looking, and then that corresponds to the screen. But I mean, it's not very natural. And there's a lot of other games that are integrating it, and goddamn, for the air game, it would make a huge difference.
I'm going to direct that question to Sniper at the moment. We haven't really talked about it much. Unreal opens that ability, but I don't know how you'd like to respond to that.
Yeah, we went over it on the last break, and in the QA. Unreal Engine does open the doorway for doing VR natively within a game. but that game has to be worked and updated to work with the other side of that. At this time, we're not planning on making any adjustments for 2.0 and what the initial plan for the rollout is. In the future, it's definitely an option, but not at this time. How that works with Chokepoint, Stefan can answer to that one. We can go from there.
I'm going to assume that you're talking about. Okay, let me find the right words. I know there is technology that allows you to track your head in basically non-VR that will tilt the image on screen to a few degrees, and that is something I've heard of. But currently we neither have access to it nor plans to integrate it. And I think, given that we are infantry only, the one class that would benefit from it a lot is probably the MG class, but that's not something in our scope. And maybe if there are a lot of requests for it, let's consider it. So far, it isn't.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I missed the Q&A, so I had to clean the house.
All good, Jim. Thanks for the question. Quinn Cannon, and then Austin Barlow will be coming up after Quinn.
Okay, first, happy anniversary, everybody, and really welcome to the Talos, folks. This is really awesome news. As a longtime World War II gamer, I am very ashamed to not have heard of Resistance and Liberation before, and I apologize to Talos. But in World War II Online, we have accounts. Some of us have accounts with World War II Online, and some of us have accounts through Steam. And we're able to play back and forth. Like if I have a friend who's on Steam, I can do that. So the question is, will that same type of situation, because since World War II Online people will have accounts with Chokepoint and vice versa, will the same type of situation occur in that with Chokepoint, if I log on using whatever using the login I'm going to have that's not Steam, would another player on Steam, will we be able to log into the same matches or not?
I will take that question on. I can say that much. It is on our roadmap to create that functionality. I cannot tell you when that functionality will hit the game. Currently, it is built on Steam because the Steam SDK, it just gives us a ton of functionality already that we on our own, before we merged with the CRS, wouldn't have been able to just create because it's a lot of work. But let's just say as much. It's on the roadmap. We want to build it. I just can't tell you when exactly that'll happen yet.
Yeah, so when the game actually goes up for release on Steam, the objective is so that, like we talked about in our video, the organic players that we refer to as folks who sign up from WWII will be able to play with Steam players as well. And the account system will feed off of one another. Stefan's correct. That functionality has not yet been built, but it is definitely a high priority and will be done. So people will sign up through WWII, and if you're going through Steam, it will all use the same account system, kind of like we have it now. That API and that integration process is in the works. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks, Quinn, for the question. Austin Barlow, what's your game name? And Trevor's up next. Austin.
Okay. Major Reisman is the player name. Just got a question on the Chokepoint. Are there any plans to expand it as far as like having dynamic weather and or dynamic like day to night, being able to change the daytime play in certain different time zones, for instance?
As it stands, the current scenarios are all built on very, very specific real life, real world encounters. Like if you, Iglees being nighttime is simply because that's when they jumped out of their airplanes to attack the town. And so as it stands, that is not currently on our roadmap. But as we expand the game, as we build more scenarios, I personally am a big proponent of building more game modes. It all depends on how much time and resources we have in the end. So could it happen? And given that we are on Unreal, it's not the biggest challenge, I would say, but it's not currently in the game, no.
Thanks, Stefan. Thanks for the question. Trevor's up, and then Blypool.
All right, I got another question about Chokepoint. Is there a playable game currently, Resistance and Liberation, and how do we access it as it stands right now?
I can take the first part of the question. Oh, you go ahead.
I was thinking, I could. This is my area. I was gonna say. So currently, what you can play now is the old source mod, the source version. If you head on over to ModDB and look up Resistance and Liberation, it'll show up. It'll be the first result. You just need to download the 1.6 open beta. After that, you just need to restart Steam after you're done installing it. Thankfully nowadays, because Steam gives you a bunch of free source games, you don't need you don't need Half-Life 2 to run it. You will need to download SDK 2007, but you should have that already. But that's really the only thing you need to get yourself playing the game. It'll be a great way to measure what this new version will offer, the type of gameplay, the type of the game mode, the main game mode, and the type of guns and the gunplay that you're going to get. If you'd like to play, currently there's a campaign going on, but you can still join. It's still open. And you can expect games to be at Tuesdays at 8 p.m. British time and on Saturdays at the same time. That's when people kind of gather. As you can guess, the mod spent a couple of years. People only play when there's a bit of events, and I help manage that. So that's why there isn't really that many people playing. However, if you get a couple of friends, the servers are always open. I do suggest using the RNL Lover server. The other server has a bit of a mythos to it. It's been there forever. Nobody knows who owns it, but it's still there. But yes, of course, you are always welcome to play the game. It's always there, and I'd be happy to see you.
So I got a follow-up question to that. You said there's a campaign currently going on. Are players locked into a side at the start of that campaign?
Indeed, this is a sort of a goodbye. This campaign is a sort of a goodbye to the mod, hello to the new game, and it's a special rule set. Everyone has been signing up to the teams over Discord. There are team Discords, and you're locked in, and the winner gets a prize at the end, which right now is beta keys to the to the new Chokepoint beta. So yes, you lock into a team. Each team has a set ticket pool where they draw from. So every time you die, you lose a ticket. The first team to win 3 matches, or the first team to lose all its, or the first team to kill all the other team's tickets wins. That is how it goes.
So I'd like to jump in and state that the mod, the best thing to do in terms of looking at the mod is definitely going to show you how far they've come. Chokepoint will be available on July 1st. We're going to be giving keys out, Steam keys, which are beta keys for our builders exclusively. As far as a non-builder getting access to Chokepoint, we'll let you guys know. But right now, that's what we're prepared to do. So my advice, subscribe to the hero plans, get a builder subscription, and get ready to start testing as of July 1st. Stefan, did you have something?
I'll totally jump in again. Yes. First off, that weird unknown server is owned by the Russians. Just to put that out. And about Chokepoint, yes, we do have a playable version of the game already. we've had for 3 years, and we've been testing that pretty religiously every single weekend except for Christmas and some summer breaks. So as Zoom just said, there's ways to access that in some of the plans. Or there will be ways more specifically. But yes, we do have a playable version, and it's pretty far along, I would say. There's a few things we need to work on, a few things we need to fix and polish still, but it's a good experience already.
Yeah, agreed on that. Many of the rats have been participating in the Sunday play tests. And so we've been able to experience it firsthand. Thanks for the question. Blypoop.
Hello. So here in the World War II online community, we've had a very strange obsession. So I'm just wondering, could you elaborate a little bit and tell us, is there sheep in the game?
This got awkward.
Oh, I can take that one if you'd like, Stefan.
Tiago loves a sheep.
I was waiting for this question.
So
I'm just surprised it's taken so long.
RNL has its own tradition with sheep, and as some of the rats have figured out already, because I've taken it upon myself to show that there are some hidden sheep. They aren't invincible, however, they are more promiscuous, let's say. Our sheep are a bit more hidden, but if you find them, we'll promise you'll have a laugh.
Yeah, that answers my question.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Let's see. Rich Nelson. Rich Nelson coming up to talk. What's your game name, Rich?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
My game name is USafe77.
Welcome.
For those of us who have not been here for these seminars, real short, can you sum up the important surprises? Just real short. Or the changes that are happening in the game.
Well, did you catch any of it today, or are you just joining us?
None of it. I just signed on.
Oh, well, there's a lot to tell you about. I can tell you that this video will be posted on Facebook and on YouTube after it's complete. But the highlights are we're undergoing some changes in our subscription payment plans. And we are going to be developing a brand new game using the Unreal Game Engine. And finally, we have joined forces with another game, Chokepoint. And it's a little bit different style game. But it enhances integrated voice communications and squad play. And that is built on the new Unreal Game Engine. So those are the highlights, but I encourage you to watch the full video as soon as we post it.
So this is pretty huge.
Yeah, a little bit.
We like to think so, yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
All right, Rich, welcome. Hey, you know what? Before we take the next question, I know that people probably have many. Tiago has kind of a cool little teaser trailer to show us that we're going to be throwing on our Steam store page, and we'd like to share that with you. Tiago, you got that ready to go?
Oh, yes, I do. I've been working on this for a while, and it's, well, I hope you guys like it. Do I need to be unmuted for them to hear the audio, or can I mute myself?
No, okay. You can mute yourself. Just hit share screen, advanced, and then video. And make sure you hit share sound at the bottom left before you, just like the screenshot I shared with you.
All right, just give me a second here. I need to, okay, there it is.
Somebody cue the Jeopardy music.
No, it's just a question of finding the thing. It's right here. Right here. All right, it should be playing. I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself. How do I do that?
Black screen here. You'll have to click, like, roll over.
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory.
America. I was feeling those freedom vibes. Anybody else?
It's quite fun to make that out, honestly. It was very nice to work with the rats on making that one.
He shot us so many times and laughed. It was bad.
Oh,
don't forget about the reruns. Those were
that
horrible.
that was Chim dying every single time. I was the only one that died.
I died once.
You weren't the only one.
Jim, that's what happens when you run people into buildings with your laughing.
Was this a recent episode?
Hey, and until they put Bofors in there, I'm just gonna die. That's all I got to say.
All right, let's. Sorry, Jim.
I was just gonna say we've had a lot of questions about the subscription change.
Sure, ask away.
Well, there's a crap ton of questions about.
Can you highlight it again, Matt?
Yeah, just go over just do a quick overview if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. So these subscription plans are gonna occur as of the 1st of July. Okay, so the main things are, if you're a starter subscriber, all infantry, all ground forces, or all air force, those are going to be basically, we're getting rid of them. So everybody who's on those plans is going to get a $9.99 per month premium sub. Okay. And that $9.99 per month premium sub is going to be our mainstay. That's going to be our headliner. This is what it costs to play World War II online as our public rate. Now, what we talked about was our other subscribers, like the $17.99 per month premium guys. What we've elected to do and what we need to have happen is to transition those guys to receive builder access. What we're not doing is increasing your rate, but having you guys hold the line there, we think is going to be pretty compelling for you. But it's also really important. What we cannot have is a tidal shift of people saying, well, screw that, I'm going for the lower rate. We're taking an awful risk here, but we're trying to do the right thing so everybody wins. Stability will be risked if you do that. So I'm imploring you, please don't do that. If you do, we're going to abort. And I'm telling you now, the line is in the sand. We didn't have to do this. We're doing it in an effort to increase the volume of players to the game. So please look at it in that light. I think that should answer the question, right?
Yes, I think it does. So a builder drops from $30 down to $17.99, a great deal. A premium subscription drops from $17.99 to $9.99, an awesome deal. And don't forget, you as a builder, you get that second account. You get a second pro account.
Well, and might we also add, you're going to get a whole other game for this now. That's kind of a big deal too. And then as we add subsequent games, which is our intention long-term, it will all fall under that plan. And so this is the beginning of a World War II online franchise. Yesterday we heard we're not just going to be a one-trick pony. Well, today we're delivering on that. Took us a while, but we're delivering on it. Okay, let's get back to the questions.
Thanks. Thomas Mosley's up next. Thomas, what's your game name?
Oh yeah, so I'm TRM 20. I was just wondering if we can get some aircraft carriers and maybe like some unibombers.
Right now, our focus is strictly on fulfilling our existing roadmap and the gigantic task of getting onto the Unreal Engine. So we believe that in the community, 87% of them said we need to do something bold and innovative to stay relative
No, I understand.
in the market. So I don't want to crush your dreams here, because those are dreams we share too. We want those things. We got to get here first, and then that's going to unlock more players in the game, and therefore revenue, and therefore more developers, in that order.
Gotcha. Can I ask you another quick question?
Real quick, go ahead.
Yeah. So I had a subscription back when I was like 16. Now I'm 33, and I can't access the account for some reason. Maybe you could look into it. It's TRM 15.
Support ticket. We have had this happen several times,
I've
and if it's
done it, and I'm never gonna get a reply. So I figured I'd talk to you.
we're gonna go talk to Pit Pete right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Pit Pete, where you at, man?
You guys should have my account, my AOL account. That's a link to it.
Okay.
I just need to get a recovery key or whatever their password.
Yeah. Honestly,
Sergeant Major, it sucks to lose the rank. You know.
I'll say this, Pit Pete, I don't know how long you asked, but he was just on a short vacation, but he is back now, and he has been our, well, if it was years ago, we can't put that on him then. But listen, I'm going to ask you again, submit a support ticket. We've got our community manager here. We've got our marketing guy here. We're not going to let this fall through. Okay, Thomas, just please submit it. Let us know your information, and we'll make it happen.
I love everything you guys are doing.
Great. We're glad to see you here. Let's get over to Austin. Austin, you got a question?
Okay. In regards to Chokepoint, what's the situation with damage model? Like, can you shoot a weapon out of a person's hand, for instance?
Stephanie, mind if I take that one, or would you like to?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm very glad that you asked that. It is something that you can check on the original mod itself. The damage model in there is going to be replicated on Unreal in Chokepoint. However, I'll give you a rundown. You can break your legs and be forced to limp for the rest of that life until you inevitably kick the bucket. You can get your weapon shot out of your hands, indeed. You can even get knocked out, shot, knocked down, and unconscious for a couple seconds and wake back up later. The following episode, as indeed happened, but everything happened to me. I fell off a balcony, broke my legs. I got knocked out and lost my weapon due to an explosion. And when I woke up, there was an angry German pointing his pistol at me in a very, very angry, threatening manner. I didn't survive. It can lead to a lot of fun and realistic scenarios. So be looking forward to that. It is quite fun.
Thanks. Anybody else have any questions? You can hit that raise hand button on the bottom of your screen.
There's been a few questions about whether Chokepoint works on the Mac or not. Just need a quick answer for that.
I'll take that one. Technically, it's possible. Yes. So, and actually, it's on our roadmap eventually. So it will work on Mac eventually. Currently, we don't have a working client, just to put that out. But well, Unreal builds natively on Mac if we jump through a couple of hoops. So there's some things to be resolved, but none that should stop us to have a native Mac version eventually.
Thanks, Stefan. Next up is Jim Ryan. Jim, what's your game name?
Savage Winard, just one more. Obviously, you guys have been paying attention to the news. Crypto has been blowing up, and NFTs have been gaining a lot of attention and selling for quite a bit. Just thought I'd put it out there that it might be worthwhile to turn some in-game assets into purchasable items. Possibly they could be done through NFTs and whatnot. And there's different platforms out there. Engine seems to be one of the better ones, one of the original creators of the NFT platform. So just some thoughts out there on how to bring in some other revenue.
Okay, great. Thanks for your comments. Anybody else? Raise your hand, hit the raise hand button on the bottom. Okay. There we go. Going to Joe. Joe Kurdra. What's your game name, Joe?
It's okay. I just unmuted. It's Kudrana, game name Frantish.
Welcome back.
Okay, I just got back from doing errands, so I was going to be late. So, if you could recap a little bit. Now, I just caught in that the Mac will not be supported for a little while as you're switching to something. So, if you had a little time for me to catch up, please.
Hey, Frantish. I know you were here yesterday and spent a lot of time. We actually just did that. And in fairness to the other viewers, I'm going to request that you watch the video because what we've described today is compelling and huge. And there's no way for us to summarize effectively the magnitude of today's discussion. So unfortunately,
Okay, all right,
don't
that's
be late,
fine.
man. Come on.
I know. I just had other things I had to do. Okay, I shall watch the video, and I am a member of a Mac community, and I will just pass on the news to those guys to let them know what's happening. Okay.
Please watch the video first. That
Yes, will
commentary
do.
was about a new game that we're developing, not World War II Online currently.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead, T-Man.
Thanks. Anybody else with a hand up? Trevor, you got one more? Trevor.
Yeah, when it comes to choke point, are there any kind of cool weaponry like maybe a flamethrower involved, or is there a list where we can see, what weapons are going or plan to go into the game at launch?
I'll take that one. Again, we've been basing this on what the paratroopers had back then and what the German units that they encountered most likely would have had. So currently there's no flamethrowers. Maybe there will be a Panzerschreck at some point in time. For the time being, we kept it pragmatic, a rocket launcher, or RPG or whatever. That wouldn't be making terrible sense if you're playing against other infantry players. But as time progresses and we make progress on other fronts, I don't see why we can't introduce new weapons. I'm not going to make any promises, but let's leave it at that. We have the realistic weapon loadout that they had back then.
So
And,
it's gonna be based on like the D-Day invasion, U.S.
yes,
paratroopers.
exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Very standard weapons, man. M1 Garand, Kar 98, BAR, Sturmgewehr, FG42, M1 carbine, 30 cal, MG 42, MG 34, Luger, Colt, shit like that. Pretty straightforward stuff.
Although you can really expect some, really great looking weapon models. You'll love the look of them. The FG42 is my favorite.
Did I say? I'm gonna correct myself. I think I said Luger. Was it the?
It's a Walther P38.
Thank you. My bad. I know Hans wasn't too happy about that before.
we might get a Luger in there at some point.
We
never
better.
know.
We better.
Even it's a Luger. Who doesn't want a Luger?
What about I got one more. Sorry. What about bayonet play?
Oh yes, we do.
Yep.
We have bayonets for a rifleman. You can attach your bayonet at any time and make some kebabs.
All right. One question at a time, guys. Trevor, I'm looking at you. Quit it. Other people. We'd like to hear from some other people. We've heard we're getting a lot of repeats here, guys. So if you got to have something here. For those of you who we haven't heard from in a while, put your hand up. Let's call on them.
Okay, Ramjet, and then Bill. What's your game name, Ramjet?
That is his game name.
I thought that's what's on his birth certificate.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've seen comments about people are worried about getting a new computer to handle all of this stuff. Exactly what effect does it have for the guy sitting at home with a computer? How well his computer will run this new program?
Well, it's if you've if you're on a potato, it's going to hurt. I'll just put it that way. I think one of the advantages here is that we're going to continue to have the current version of the game of World War II Online running. So if you can currently play, good news, you can still play. As you start to look at Chokepoint, I highly recommend everyone in our community, when it becomes available for everyone anyways, to get in there and stress test your computer. If it explodes, which I pray it doesn't literally do, you're going to know really quickly you got to do something. So that's another advantage here, is to realize that in order for us to take the technology forward, much like how we've had to remove some of our older operating systems and support for that, you've got to advance with the time. So other good news, unlike way back in the day when buying a stick of RAM was ridiculously expensive, or a new computer, the cost of a computer is relatively affordable these days by comparison. So Chokepoint will act as a really good testing solution, a guinea pig, if you will, without being so intrusive to where you'll be cut off. But again, if you're working on something from 2012 or so, an old computer, it might be time to start saving up and looking at options. And you can build custom rigs pretty affordably. If you can't, we have some other solutions that we could share with you. And our community is pretty knowledgeable about that stuff as well. A good question.
Bill. Okay, Bill, what's your game name?
There we go. Hi there. PPCLI Canuck. Been playing since 2001. Just with the Unreal Engine coming on, any chance of seeing like actual artillery and maybe like parachute flares for those Dark Knights at the forward bases? Could be launched by Mortarman.
Be a lot of fun. Unreal opens up a lot of opportunities for us. I have to stress again, not to kill dreams or hopes here, but we need to get there first. Let's talk about it once we're there. Until then, it's just so out of scope for us, man. But we would love that. I know everyone does and would appreciate that. Anyway, I hope that makes sense and not trying to be a
understand.
buzzkill.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Peter again with another question.
Yes. Recently, I had a games journalist friend play the game. He had some feedback for it. A few different things, really. I just wanted to see if Zoom was on top of this. If you're free to play, you keep on getting an annoying like message box coming up. And I feel like it would be like less aggravating for anyone we're trying to sell the game to have like a splash screen or something like that instead. Another thing, he tried 3 different emails and he couldn't like get an activation thing until I actually had to point it out to Blackhawk. And also it's very hard in the game still to like find like the people that you want to play with and like get an overview of the game. I know there was some screenshots of like a new map mode that does away with all the brigade switching. But I just wanted to know what's being done to improve the ease to get into the game and hopefully avoid any annoyance of these like message boxes appearing every time you respawn. I don't think that's selling our game or doing it justice, really. But that's
okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Answer your first question. The upsell message is available. I say available as if it's a feature. It's a thing. It's a little intrusive, but it's like, hey, you know, we're not doing this for free. A lot of other games have some sort of advertising they do that directly impacts it. All you have to do is hit a click button, hit OK. I'm not terribly worried about it. I know it's annoying, but it's goes to show the message is being received. Want it to go away? Subscribe. Don't? Well, enjoy. Sorry. As far as the email is concerned, yes, Pilot MC and I have been talking about this. We do need to make some adjustments, and that relates to basically our domains and how we're utilizing them. The main issue is that we need to have a specific domain dedicated to the activation of accounts, and then our marketing stuff is utilized on a different platform. I believe that's on me a little bit at the moment, and we'll get back to that. In terms of being on the ball or not with the press, doing the best I can here, man. I look at all the announcements today, doing what I can. Hopefully it generates some buzz, and we'll continue to talk about that. And finally, there was one more thing. Do you guys remember? I'm having a brain fart. There was one more thing he asked about. Okay. It was like on the tip of my tongue, and then I just went derp. It's too many questions. Remember, one question. Otherwise, this happens. So sorry I didn't answer your. It was about the interface. It was about the user interface. We had posted on a roadmap a while ago that it was in our intention to do that. Some effort was applied, and we just, that was an example of, hey, our interface code is literally code. It's not simple to work with. That's one of the advantages. Again, going to Unreal, they have pretty reasonable, easy to work with tools that will help us do a better job on the interface. As it stands, we're going to, as I'm going to repeat this, we are going to complete as much as possible on our existing roadmap. Our developers, as soon as they've completed their stuff, are going to move over, and they're already starting to, onto the Unreal Engine 4 tasks. So it's unwise for us to state here like, yeah, we're going to totally work on the interface right now. Long story short, we're not. We know it needs work, but we have a lot that we need to do elsewhere, and that includes our future. Everything we've talked about today, that's our focus. So outside of that is, I would say, it's kind of out of scope and not really, you're not going to get a great answer. But the fact that we're talking about all these things, the fact that we're going in this direction should in and of itself be a really extraordinary thing. So embrace that. Don't be disappointed. We're talking about the next 20 years of the game, and all the little nuances in the way are distractions from where we need to be. So I hope that helps. And again, please, one question, because that was a lot to remember. So T-Van, back to you.
Okay, Porsche is up next. Porsche.
Snipe already answered it in a side check. I just wanted to see about the damage model, how that was going to change when they move over to UE.
And for the benefit of everybody, what was the answer?
Yeah. So World War II Online's damage model is quite complex. And as if you guys were here yesterday, some of the CRS 1.0 team were actually talking in regards to it and how granular it actually can get. So it's actually doing a lot more than the majority of other games out there at the moment. So we don't plan on dumbing it down. We do plan on keeping that same capability and granular ability as we transition over to Unreal Engine. But right now, we're really early in the process. So I can't really give a 100% answer, but that's the plan anyway.
Thanks, Sniper. Over to Frantish.
Okay, real simple. Will there be some kind of a incentive for those who spend a lot of time in a game, or like, a reward for those who spend a lot of time in a game, like a free extra unit or something? Just throwing it out there, however you want to do it.
I didn't quite catch that. I'm sorry, I was multitasking.
For those who spend large amounts of time in the game, who log on frequently, will there be some kind of a reward program set up where they might get an additional vehicle or something as a bonus or as a reward for their activity, participation?
In the culture of participation trophies, I'm not sure I agree with that. I understand. I think that those people who are at that point, who have capped out in their rank, transition their thoughts into stats, for example, or they join high command, or they join training. Some of them venture into CRS, but the next level is to become a builder, and that's when we issue vehicles out beyond the premium subscription. At this point in time, again, not on the radar. It's not that we don't appreciate it, but the value's there. That's not. I don't understand how that would help a whole lot. It might make them feel good or encourage more time online so that they keep that level. But then we talk about, well, are they just going to walk away and leave their computer running and get some superior weapon while they're AFK? I mean, there's a lot that would go into that. It's not simple. Or for that matter, it doesn't offer us a lot of return on investment. And especially with our substantially tapped team as it is, we have to be very careful in resource distribution, and that just doesn't qualify as a good candidate.
Thanks for the thoughts.
Certainly.
Jim, do you have anything from the social media side?
Not really. Actually, one just popped up here a few seconds ago. Was anything said about terrain resolution in the Unreal version? Like now the terrain is in what, 800-meter triangles. So that's, I think he's trying to get at yeah, the dynamic of the terrain, how it's going to
Is he talking about as it applies to Unreal?
Yeah.
Yeah, the terrains we've already done in that demo is kind of hard to see because there were focus shots, but yes, again, we want to be really controlled. We're not going to say, yeah, well, it's going to be this, and we're going to give you all the dimensions. You could even go further and take satellite data. The resolution per meters is kind of what World War II Online's looks like right now. And obviously the resolution per meter is it's quite large, and therefore it looks kind of clunky. It's a little early to talk about that, but the short version is yes, graphics in general can be improved. Objective one, let's get there. Then let's talk about what else we can do. Beyond that point, and again, I'm not trying to kill enthusiasm. I'm being brutally realistic so everyone understands when we walk away from this, and those who watch it later, that, you know, that's part of our deal. We want to be as forthright as possible, and we're sharing these challenges with you. So if we give you an answer like that doesn't exactly, you know, maybe you don't want to hear it, we're not trying to be rude. We just, if we tell you what you want to hear and then fail later, that's a big problem, and we don't want to do that as best as we can. So I hope that makes sense. Oh, T-Man, you are muted.
Yeah. This is a great opportunity, though, for you guys who have heard all these announcements today to ask questions, to the existing team or to ask questions to the new team. So once again, if you're interested in asking a particular question related to today's releases or yesterday's events, hit that raise your hand button down on the bottom.
Did we check those Q&A questions down at the bottom? There's three of them.
They've been doing a really good job answering them. George Witten asked the size of the download. Is that a question pertaining to Chokepoint? If so, Stefan, how big is the download for Chokepoint at the moment?
The game itself currently is about 18 gigs, and I assume with the full campaign that we have planned so far, that being Normandy, will probably grow to 22, 25-ish. What you have to download through Steam currently is about 7.5.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. Robert Smith said, just in seeing the little bit presented, the Talos guys do what? The little bit presented, the Talos guys do with organizing. Holy crap, my brain. Can they please be tapped to do more with our missions, organizing, comms, spawning? The short answer is they are focused on Chokepoint and developing Unreal technologies that will later be utilized and shared into 2.0. Be clear, we have two different wings at CRS as of now. Wing 1 is focused on continuous production development on 1.0, and its development team is pushing towards 2.0, and the production team is somewhat involved in that process as well. Wing 2 is focused on Chokepoint exclusively and developing that further, as well as new assets and capabilities. So there will be some back and forth here and there, especially as we get really serious on Unreal. But what we're not going to do is ask the Talos guys to get involved with our current code base. That doesn't make sense for them. And we have a team that's already pretty involved in that. And we're, just to be clear again, developers programming other than vehicle production is going to be going onto the 2.0 transition, which will take years. It's going to take time, and we need you guys to be patient and understanding in that process. Otherwise, this is going to not work very well. So we're putting it all on the table. Developments of these nature beyond integrated voice comms are going to come to a screeching halt We will keep you aware of the progress we make throughout all that, trying to get to 2.0. You will be updated routinely. We're not going to go dark or absent from comms. You will still get updates in the form of production stuff. Anyway, I hope that's clear. I know I'm being redundant, but it seems like it's important to do so.
I have a question from Facebook. It says, is the Chokepoint team telling its players to try out World War II online? I don't know. Were we gonna play that one video, or is that just a question that you wanted to answer?
I don't know what video you're talking about. Sorry.
The Vanguard announcement video to the Choke.
I see. That particular video is tailored to the resistance and liberation community. We could, but I don't think it's going to be terribly beneficial for them. But for our guys, maybe it would be in terms of just letting them be aware of it. But look, even if you go to our homepage right now at worldwar2online.com, if you go there right now, Sniper and I were just talking and making a couple adjustments, and thank God he's around, because something stupid I couldn't figure out because I'm multitasking. Long story short, it will show World War II Online on the left, and it will show Chokepoint on the right. After we're done this meeting today, and Stefan, if you're ready to do it, you might as well. We're going to be moving over resistanceandliberation.com. We're going to forward that address over to worldwar2online.com. These are going to be all hosted under World War II Online. So by default, they're going to feed off of each other. We're all one team now. There's not us versus them. It's us. Okay. That's it. So I hope that makes more sense. The long story short, yes, they will be checking out, or at least be in a position to check out World War II Online, and vice versa.
I wanted to just add a little thing, because aside from just that teaser, there is also an announcement video tailored to the resistance and liberation community, talking about the merger and talking about everything going on. So they do know about World War II Online. They will know. Everything's already prepared and thought of.
Okay, Tiago, do you think I'm not opposed to it? Do you think there's any benefit to sharing that video for our people here so that they're more aware of, like, hey, this is what's going on, and it might give them a better understanding of how you're approaching communications?
I don't know if it will be terribly. You might get a couple tens of players playing World War II Online. I don't know if it will be too terribly. This isn't because of lack of interest. This is because of we do. I'll be honest. The people who still play the mod are quite small. So I don't know how many would come to play or come to play World War I.
That's okay.
Online. Yeah.
That's not the primary focus. The objective I'm trying to throw across is
to reach the broader.
Do you think our players would? I think they do. I think based on the question, they might have an expressed interest in understanding how you guys are communicating with your community.
Of course, I'm pretty sure they will. I'm very sure that once we release that announcement video and everything's settled and everyone's understood, I'm pretty sure that there will be a good enough bleed over, given that we have the smaller community. There will be a good bleed over between players, and so you'll get new blood in World War II Online, and vice versa.
Okay. Would you be in a position in about 8 minutes to share that video with our community here in the same way that you showed the teaser?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, look, we've got time slotted out until about an hour and 18 minutes from now. I know we've been at this for a while. I know there's a lot going on. Let's take a few minutes, a break. Let's come back in about 8 minutes, and we'll continue the discussion. And I know there's a lot of questions that'll give you guys some time to recharge. We'll watch that video, and if there's not a lot left over in terms of communications, we'll call it early, which I'm sure is a welcome thing for all of our rats who have been at this now for a couple of days, and I appreciate you guys sticking around. So, Tiago, get that video on standby. When we come back, we'll share with everyone how Wing 2, or previously Talos Interactive, was communicating with their community, and that way you guys can get a better idea from their perspective how this is happening. So let's take a break. I'll see you guys in 7 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever. Bye.
Hey, Zoom, you here?
Oh yeah, just working frantically in the background.
Yeah. Mind if I do a screen share of the winners for the
Absolutely, go for it.
Okay. Let's see here. I think it was at the end. Yeah, so here's the winners of the events that we had during the week. So all these players are going to get the extra large game map. It's going to be a special 20th anniversary edition. Obsidian's Wrath, we got Capone. The Grand Prix was Trevor 8. Thou Shalt Not Cross was Recon. Last Man Standing was Silas 1. And we had a three-way tie of the Ace of Aces. Panda 1K, A-Up, and Aviat.
As a side note, I got some really good footage of Panda and A-Up and Trevor doing their things.
It was those were pretty good, pretty good events.
Yeah,
you know. So good job, guys. It was a lot of fun for those who was in those events and participated. You know, appreciate you guys showing up, and it was a lot of fun. So gives us some good ideas for future events as well.
So is that it?
That's it.
Cool. All right. Tiago, you here, man?
Yes, I am.
All right. You're next on the chopping block. You ready for your screen share?
Indeed. Let me just get the window up. Let's
Hope
see.
everybody else is here. Just provide them a quick briefing again, you know, just for good measure of what they're about to see.
All right. So this is the announcement video that is going to be going up later today. This is targeted at the resistance and liberation community. And it's going to be telling them about the name change, about what this means, about the joining forces with Cornered Rat Software, and about, you know, what they can expect, telling them about World War II Online, you know, giving them a briefing, basically. Without further ado, here's the video. Hello everyone, I'm Vanguard XE, and welcome to another update video for Resistance and Liberation. Today is going to be a shorter video, and I know the title might have you worried, but I'm here to tell you guys why this sudden change is happening. First, let's get the bad stuff out of the way. We're going to be changing the game's name, but that is the only thing that will be changing. Now you may be asking, but why? We've had this name for years, what's the need to change? Well, let me take you on a small history lesson. Resistance and Liberation has been in the works for more than 15 years now. It's a name that's got a lot of history behind it, and as much as we'd love to carry that torch, legally it's not the best move. With the original creator of the mod unable to be reached after so many years, we can't get his permission to use the copyright, and being a small team, we can't go on having a possible lawsuit hanging over our heads. Some of you already know me from the mod, and you know I've been in the community for years, and if it were possible to retain the original name, we'd have done it. We're RNL fans first and foremost after all, and it's sad to have to switch our names. But rest assured, there is some good news. In these last few months, we've been working together with another game developer to make our game better. They've released the oldest World War II multiplayer game currently out there, and some of you may already know what game I'm talking about. We've joined forces with Cornered Rat Software, the makers of World War II Online, as a new division to make our game better. Now, before we reveal the new name of our game, and explain what this means for the RNL community, I'll come out and say it. The game will not change. Our mechanics, our maps, our setting, our ideas will all remain the same going forward. The name change is more so to protect ourselves from legal trouble than anything else. From now on, Resistance and Liberation will be known as World War II Online Chokepoint. Now, what does this mean? Well, for one, our community will expand, as together we are working to develop a franchise, so both games will have an overlapping community. Now, what does this mean? Well, it'll mean we'll have to do some merging in terms of Discord. We're going to be moving everyone from the RNL public Discord to the World War II Online Discord under our own subsection. We'll also get our own subsection on the World War II Online website, with accompanying forums which you should sign up for, all free of course, to get access to the wider community. This means Chokepoint will have a much larger community to keep the game going. Not only that, but since Cornered Rat Software has been in the business for so long, even longer than us, we've got more help to publish the game and have it more widely known, as well as provide proper professional servers and data centers, which I'm sure, as some of you are aware, is quite a tough thing to achieve in today's gaming market, especially for indie titles like ours. It also might unlock some new fun features for the game. This partnership also means our team won't be so small anymore, which means you'll get more content to enjoy in the future leading up to the release of the game on Steam. Speaking of which, now would be a great time to check out the Steam store page and wishlist us. That way, you'll get more news regarding the game's development. You should also check out our website and our Discord. All the links are in the description. Last video, we put up a survey for you guys on what you thought was the best way going forward. We've listened to your comments and to your answers, and we've come to what we believe will be a sensible and fair monetization plan, both for you and for us. The game will be free to play. This way everyone will still be able to play. However, to monetize the game, we've decided on a subscription plan. As a subscriber, not only will you be directly participating in the growth and development of the game, but you'll also be getting access to Chokepoint and World War II Online's full feature sets. This means modders will get better access to assets, and you'll also be getting early access to some content that will be coming up, among other features that we'll be talking about soon. As always, we're looking for new talent to help make Chokepoint look and play great. Whether you are a programmer, 3D artist, animator, or would like to talk about how you can help, contact us on Discord or see the link in the video description to our volunteer sign-up page. Our team is a place to learn and improve over time. If you think you can make a difference, don't hesitate to reach out. And of course, we're always looking for playtesters. If you'd like to join the playtest team, join the Discord in the description below and look in the info channel for more information on how to help playtest the game. Thank you all so much for your support, and we hope to see you on the battlefield soon. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next update video.
So that's that. All right.
Indeed it is. That's all she wrote.
Well, we're Team Man, are you back? Team Man.
Yeah, I'm
hey,
here.
Hey, welcome. I know we're all getting a little burnt out here. Let's take a few more questions. And Chim, if you can get ready with, there's anything on social media as well. Team Man, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Rich. Let me unmute you. There you go, Rich.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mike, check. Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Guys, first of all, absolutely outstanding. Everything on I was part of the first part, but like seeing all of you guys, I mean, especially Doc, you know, and Chim, and like holy hell, I mean, Doc Gopher, etc. I mean, it's so good. It is so good to see all you guys. Okay. My only question is, obviously, I've been on the inside. I was the creator Bravo 2-0, First Division SAS squad inside the Allied side of the game. What you might say a little bit of a legend. I've only just come back after around, what am I talking there? About 12 years, 10 years. So I've only just resubscribed, etc. Long story. But there was something that I was very, very interested in, gentlemen, which was the development of either the Lancaster or the Wellington bomber and the Ju-88. this has probably already been covered, but forgive me, gentlemen, if this has already been covered, then, just let me know. But, don't have to repeat yourselves if it has already been covered. But like, that is exciting. That is exciting.
Those are already posted on the website for Q3. The Wellington and the 88. That question's been posted for a couple months now, so no change there at this time.
Okay, Roger, gentlemen. I'm trying to think of another question just while my mic is unmuted at the moment, and that is if it would be possible, gentlemen, for the Lancaster, the Avro Lancaster. I mean, what would that take? I mean, what would that involve? How, what would, God, hell, holy hell, the Avro Lancaster.
Very complicated machine. Boom Boom was on earlier today and described his worst, worst production he's had to do, and it's the JU-88. He said the absolute worst project he's had. So I think the Wellington.
Roger, T-Man, and T-Man. And by the way, can I just say, you're looking well, my friend. You're looking well after all these years. All of you, gentlemen, all of you. I mean, all of you, Chim, Kempy, all of you, Zeke. I mean, the Sniper, T-Man, Zoom. Holy hell, man! All of you are looking well. It's such a privilege to see all of you gentlemen here. And yeah, I just wanted to let you know that. Outstanding.
Thank you. Thanks for your comments. Who else has any questions? This is an opportunity for you. Use the raise your hand button down at the bottom. I know we've covered a lot of ground today. And if you've come in late and you weren't able to see or weren't able to be here for the beginning, I encourage you to go onto Facebook or to YouTube after this concludes today and see the parts that you missed, because it's likely that you missed something really important. It's been a blockbuster couple hours before we opened up to question and answer. So Warhammer has got a question. Let me unmute you. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, all. Just want to say thank you for everything that everybody does. My question is, I thought I saw something earlier that there will be no more training for the green guys coming in. Is there anything we can do, I guess, as the older players to help them? I mean, I've got on, I see a green tag and I'm trying to help them and they don't answer and I keep running, and Kempy knows this because I cuss a lot when they don't. Is there anything we're going to be able to do to help them out?
Well, so, we've always tried different strategies to reach out to new players. We've tried forcing them into squads. We've, direct reach outs. We have a training group. PF Mosquito was here a little bit earlier. Tony, he runs our game trainers. If you're interested in getting a tool to communicate directly with green tags, talk to PF Mosquito about becoming a game trainer. We're always looking to add to that cadre. I will tell you that PF Mosquito complains the same as you do, that he reaches out to multiple green tags time after time and just doesn't even get a response. So it is a frustrating issue, whether it's a language barrier problem, or whether it's they don't know how to communicate in text chat, or they just want to be left alone. It happens quite often. So we're open to any ideas, though. But those are some of the things we've tried and what we're currently doing.
I think the integrated voice comms will help out a little bit too. At least I would hope so. Once that gets implemented.
Yeah. The most survivability in this game is joining a squad. It's clear that the learning curve is so steep that very few individual players sustain or succeed unless they've been involved in some squad activities at some time or another during their gaming career.
All right, let's take a couple more questions and we'll do last comments from Rats and we'll wrap up.
Anybody else have anything? Quinn's coming up for one more. Go ahead, Quinn.
Okay, first I want to say something I've kind of been wanting to say since it started. Back in the day when I first started, we didn't have an allied HC Navy High Command, and I bugged the crap out of Zoom about that. And awards were barely started, it seemed, and I bugged the Zoom a lot about that. And over the years, we now have a high command. We've got a wonderful award system, and I cannot thank him and others enough for the help and the support with that over the years. It has meant a lot to be able to help and be part of that. My question is actually because of what you just said, though, T-Man. I've asked this before. Right now, the minimum to start a squad is like 5 people, right? And
I believe it is.
Have we? Is there any possibility to consider lowering that minimum? I remember a very dedicated group that I had in TZ3 for a while that could only get 3 people into the. They were only the 3 people that they knew, and they did a whole lot of stuff. But one of the reasons they left was that they were not allowed to form a squad without finding 2 more people that they couldn't find.
Sure.
And especially like in TZ3, we have a much smaller player base and stuff. Is there any possibility you could look into lowering the minimum to form a squad to 2 or 3 people? I know it doesn't sound like much, but unless you have a squad, you can't recruit anybody into your squad.
Yeah, no, appreciate the suggestion. I will raise it with the community management team and then up the flagpole. No objection from me personally, but we'll look at what other people have to say and then see if it's a hard-coded issue or if it's something Sniper can take care of for us.
It is. We should probably. I don't want to. I feel like the bad guy in the room, man. I'm just going to say that's probably not going to happen. We've tried to be ultra clear when we say it's a Sniper thing. That's critical time away from UE4 that we're not doing. We need to be very sensitive to the developers' time and getting into the future. There's no question that I don't disagree that the number of players could be a little bit higher. That's why we're making the moves that we are. We're trying to help the situation with the combined changes of here's what our future is, and oh, by the way, we're going to lower our price, and oh, by the way, we're going to create a big infusion of players. That's a pretty damn compelling set of situations there that's going to help this scenario out. But worst case scenario, what you could do is you could either ask for other people to temporarily help, just help me make this squad, or realistically, you could create another account. Most of you guys have second freebie accounts. Log them in simultaneously, send the invites to them. That's a very fast, you can do today workaround that keeps our developers focused on our mission. And just kicking it off to them, I don't agree with that. So not trying to poo-poo the idea. I get it, but there's workarounds that you could explore.
Well, you get the big bucks, those workarounds.
Hey man, let's just get to our next objective of getting on Unreal. I bet a lot more people are concerned about getting on Unreal than spending 3 to 4 months on potentially modifying, because there's interface stuff. I know you're joking, but it's a pretty serious deal. Asking for little tiny things aren't little tiny things. They add up. We get a lot of those, and you go for years running in place and not achieving a whole lot, and that's what we're trying to fix.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And since Quinn mentioned it, just a shout out to Side Out, who's one of our newest community management rats, who runs the medals and awards program and spearheads it for both the Allied and the Axis side. And he recognized, along with Quinn and others, the benefits of recognizing players who go above and beyond, and we think it pays off significantly. The feedback's been awesome. So thanks to Side Out for stepping up on that project.
Agreed.
So got one more hand up from Austin. Austin Barlow's been, he's spoken once before today. Go ahead, Austin. Wait a minute. There you go. Again, Austin, sorry for that.
No problem. My last question is relating to the next update for World War II Online. Is that planned to be Q3, or are we going to have an update before that?
Sniper, why don't you go ahead and answer that?
So the next release is planned actually soon, within the next week or two. We were hoping to get it out here before this big announcement stuff, but there are just a couple items that need to be knocked out and fully tested before we can actually get it out to you guys. It is going to be the second of 3 releases that make up the previously failed one, the .9. So everything that came in .9 will be released after this next release, and then one more. The Q3 that Hatch was referring to was just a rough schedule for getting out different production related vehicles. So that won't be in this next release or the upcoming after that. I think he was specifically talking about like the JU-88 in Wellington. Those things will be later this year.
So is the multiplayer multi-crew fix going to be in this next update?
Not this next one, but
Okay.
we do plan on fixing that and getting it out as a hot fix, which means quickly thereafter.
Thank you.
Thanks, Austin. I have another
Okay.
I have another question coming in from Drake.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Guys, thanks for everything, man. A lot of good times. But about the bomber stats, it's strictly KD. Is that proper, or should bridges, EFMS, FBs all be included in that?
I'm not sure your question. Sorry.
Bomber stats are strictly kill to death ratio related.
Okay.
Okay. Bombers in World War II, they bombed bridges, they bombed structures. They didn't fly across Europe just to get 2 kills in a building. Should the stats reflect all the work the bombers do for everything else?
I'll
Yeah,
take
maybe
that
in
one.
a perfect world, but go ahead, Sniper. Thanks.
I know, I agree, and I wish we could get more granular with stats and recording and achievements for different players. I do know that B2K has recently talked about retrofitting and upgrading the current stats site, and it would include things like that. The game itself does track if you're a bomber pilot and you do bomb a bridge or bomb a factory or bomb whatever, to include FBs. We're just not displaying those stats at the moment. So hopefully in the next generation of the stat site, they will, so that those things can be highlighted. I'm definitely a component or proponent of that capability. As you know, 617 Dam Busters is RDP squad. We would love to be able to show off more than just getting tail gun kills on EA. So yep, totally agree.
Well, thanks, guys. The thanks for everything over the 20 years is way bigger than my request for stats being changed, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Drake.
T-Man, I'd like to wrap up. If there's like 1 or 2 questions you want to take, but let's get our guys out of here.
Sounds good. It's all yours. Do you want to take one more?
Take one more, and then we'll bail.
All right, let's go to Frantish one more time. Go ahead, Frantish.
Yes, wonderful job, guys. Great to see everyone again. By the extension of the bombing kill strategic, the same will also, I'm thinking, for the logistics, the truck drivers, those who haul people and troops around. I think something.
Could you mute?
Hello?
Okay.
You got me?
Not sure what happened there, but start from the beginning.
Okay. strategic for the truck drivers, those who move people around, vehicles around, who move the front. As we know, this is a very mobile game. Will they also be getting some kind of credit like the strategic bombers when they're just bombing targets? You get my idea right there.
Yeah, kind of expanding on what the last question was. So
Yes.
Sniper's answer still stands at this point. Won't be any changes to this current game.
But it's something.
I think you just muted yourself again.
I don't know what's happening. I'm not touching anything. Okay. But that's something that's on the back burner to be looked at, right?
Well, it's on the back burner. We need to get to 2.0. We need to get onto Unreal. Anything else? Put it to the side. Yeah.
Yeah, totally understand. But at least
it's the best, unfortunately, you've ever heard.
Yeah. Let me clarify a little bit as well. In-game achievements. So whether it be allowing for mission points or rank points, no, the game stuff won't be changing. Like Zoom has said, all the focus is on 2.0. So in the future, it could change with 2.0. But with the stats perspective, with rewriting stats that we hope to do here, not too far in the future, those would be visible on that type of a thing.
Wonderful. Thank you all. Wonderful to see everyone again.
Likewise, Frantish. All right, guys. Well, that's going to conclude our Q&A portion of things. I'd like to just offer our rats one more chance to say anything as we do, and then we're going to bail out of here. So let's try and keep it concise. I know we're tired. It's been a great day. We can all kind of just slump over and realize the big things we've talked about, and then get to the hard work. And that includes the community backing us up. It's not just us. So Hatch, any last things?
No, I think everything has been more than well covered with the videos and the Q&A and stuff. And so, no, I'm glad everybody could be here. It's been an interesting convention. I hope that you guys stick with us and help us through the next 20 years.
Amen to that. I sure wish we could have done this in person. Al, going to go to you. Any last words for the community?
Nothing. Nothing really. Nothing that's already been said.
Roger that. Jim?
I just want to say it's exciting times. I mean, you don't know how hard it was for us in CRS to not say a dang thing for all this time. It's great news. Want to welcome the new team from Chokepoint, and we've got a lot of stuff going on. So we really need your support in all this, and I have no doubt that you guys are going to be here. So, I want to thank you guys, the player base, because that's what really makes this a reality. So thank you.
Great. Kempy, so it looks like, wow, it's gotten pretty late over there, man. Turn on the light.
I know it's getting dark now. No, I just want to say thank you to the community. I mean, everyone's brilliant, and the CRS team's brilliant. Wing 2, the new guys that have come on board, they're brilliant at what they do as well. It's great working with you all.
All right. T-Man, any last words for the community?
Yeah, just to re-emphasize what you said early on. Years is a long time, and we need everybody's support through these years. And it's going to be a game, our 1.0 is going to be a game without a lot of future development. So we need to find ways to keep our campaigns and our battles exciting. And that's the community. So looking for your support there.
Amen to that. Sniper, got anything for him?
Not too much, as all of you guys have already stated. Lots of news, lots of discussion. all I can say is thanks for sticking around with us, especially these last 2 days to learn about CRS past yesterday and then our future today, and then continuing to be a subscriber and play the game. Without you, we wouldn't be here. And so I appreciate it and looking forward to the future.
Roger that. Brutus, you're up. Oh, she's hunting for that button. There it is. And
Oh
don't-
man, it wouldn't click. I've got a lag. I'm sorry, but I just, you know what? Happy anniversary, everybody. There we go.
All right. Old Zeke, got anything?
I've got no parting words because, or last words, I'm saved in for about 33 years from now. Closing words, I would just say it's been a good 20 years. Let's do 20 more.
All right. Amen to that. Hio Silver, got anything?
Yeah, just for the one question that one gentleman had about the, how to find things and stuff, our interactive videos, tutorials, making those all the time. And we have a lot of information, good information. And if they have any suggestions, let me know and I'll do what I can.
Cool. I dig it. Ohm, got anything for the community? Ohm, Terry, are you there? We'll come back to him. Stefan, anything for the community?
Well, not that much, but I'm looking forward to work and play with all of you, I would say, and for another 20 years.
Cheers to that. Glad to have you on board. Okay, we'll go to Mandrill. You got anything for the community? All right, we'll come back. B2K.
Oh yeah, just it's been a fun 20 years. Looking forward to closing out this year with a bunch of changes to all of our community facing tools, everything from award sites to stats to the Gazette. I'm looking to revamp here over the next couple of months. So if you got any, I know everybody has ideas on stats, put them in the forums and we'll start to vet and see what we can do.
Careful what you wish for, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing? All right, Tex 64. Any words for the community?
Just wanted to echo what a lot of people said regarding the journey of 1.0 to 2.0. When I'm talking about the CRS, it's just phenomenal. The biggest way you can help is subscribe, whether it be a little or a lot. That's very much appreciated. And then also beyond that, in terms of if you have a talent, whether that be from coding or technical aspect, you can assist, and you can also help with the community management team. You can also join the high commands. All those three things are very consequential that you can help immediately. And then last but not least, as a former financial guy, estate planning is a thing. So if you really are thinking that, hey, I don't know if I get to the next 20 or 30 years, and my life expectancy at that point will be almost 90. I have a dad who is 90. Estate planning, putting aside a little extra for CRS for that development, baby, we'll enjoy it and use it. And that's it from me.
Absolutely shameless. I love it. But no, it's good words. It's good words. And we'll have Tex be our estate guy. You can contact him for, anyway, I'm not even going to continue that. Hey, Vocal, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were looking at your phone there or not.
Yeah, no, I'm keeping very still. Yeah, it's been a journey. Sort of the past 10 years, I've been working with CRS on and off with the arts point of view. And I know there was a little bit of concern earlier. I think I actually did a very good job of covering this, but a little bit of concern of, just taking our existing assets into Unreal. From an arts point of view, that's got me immensely excited because it's things that we can replace and improve on so much more easily than doing it within the current engine. I mean, despite all of the, repeating all of the stuff that Zoom said regarding this being, an industry standard engine, this is something that's been taught in universities and everything. I think, I mean, as an artist, I'm happy and I'm really looking forward to producing stuff within this engine, and knowing that there's a pipeline, within the foreseeable future that we can follow and explore and develop further is massively important. And I guess from the funding point of view, yeah, I'm probably going to subscribe myself actually with a bit of a donation on the side. That's how kind of stoked I am to see this move forward. I think if you do have any skills on the arts front, that's always welcome. Content is split up into programmers and artists and stuff like that. There's been a lot of stuff I talked about regarding programming, etc., etc. But if you've got a bit of a penchant for sort of modeling vehicles or buildings or anything that we could use, or fancy putting your hand in the pot with that sort of stuff, or the meat into the pot rather, not putting the hand in, then yeah, that would help us see this come to fruition and built upon so much quicker. But yeah, I owe a lot to CRS with my sort of like 10 year in games design now, and fingers crossed I'll owe them a lot more in the future as well. But yeah, awesome stuff, guys. Happy 20 years.
Good stuff, James. Appreciate it. I mean, vocal. James 10, you're up, man. What do you got?
Not a lot as usual, other than support the cause. And for those people who are interested, the code is very spaghetti.
But we appreciate what you're doing. James is one of our developers, along with Sniper, and they need your help, guys. Step up. Tiago, any last things for the community?
Indeed, I am very eager to work with you guys. I'm eager to see what you guys are all about, and I'm happy to
Oh, the suspense is killing me. What happened? His microphone cut out. That's not just me, right?
Oh, it cut out.
No,
Let's
yeah,
just
it
leave it
cut
at
out.
he's happy.
He's so excited that. Wait, what? Tiago, check your mic. Something happened.
I think we've used up all the internet. Mine's starting to get laggy.
Wait, there's a limit on that? He is truly speechless. That's right, Lawgiver. It was just so much for him to handle. His brain just exploded. Hey, look, Tiago, we can't hear you. If interrupt me later if you figure out
power outage.
Oh, well, that explains that. I'm wondering if his brain exploding had anything to do with that. Anyways, look, congratulations on 20 years. I know you've heard my voice a lot today, but I cannot stress enough that this thing is going to take some time. We need your patience. We need you with us. We need 100% of your support right now, not later, not when I feel like it, not when, hey, if CRS could just do this one feature, I'd be all in. No, do it. Let's do it now. Enough of that. We've heard that over the years a lot. We need you now. So we're going to officially conclude today and our conventions on YouTube. Right now, I've set some premieres for the specific videos. So we're having 3 videos go up. One is the first video, the explanation that took about 25 minutes. The second one is obviously the announcement of World War II Online Chokepoint, and the third one is that teaser trailer that you saw from Tiago earlier. So you'll see those. It starts in a half hour on YouTube. You can point your friends there. If you missed it, you can check that out. And those links will be available. This whole recording will also be on YouTube. It will also be on Facebook. So share them around if you'd like, or reflect on anything we talked about, because there's obviously a lot of details here. This is a huge time for us. What we do right now matters, not just at CRS, but with the community. So I really pray, not only hope, I really pray we have your support, because we're going to need all of it right now. I'm gonna cancel the or shut off the live stream. I'm gonna excuse our rats, and I'm also gonna keep this open. I'm gonna allow all of you guys to talk. It's gonna be a little chaotic. Rats, you have no obligation to stick here. You can bail. And community members have fun. But thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.